on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hey, I'm FTFE and welcome back to the channel that does the stupidity what Robocop did to that guy's kneecaps. So we're going to have a flat earth debate tonight. That's always fun. I like losing brain cells apparently. I'm not going to be taking part in the debate myself unless I really can't restrain myself. We'll see what happens. We have two people from Facebook actually. Someone who I've been communicating with on Facebook for a long time, who has known me before I even started my YouTube channel really, from talking to flat earthers on Facebook. And someone, a flat earther who owns a solar power company, who is driving whilst doing the debate. So that should be fun. But let's introduce the guys. First up, we have Robert. Robert, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm Robert Greenlee. I think many of you know me from the mirror of the official Flat Earth and Globe Discussion group, which is now the largest version of that group. Thank you, Nathan.
Are you going to have your camera on for this?
Oh, yeah, there we go. I'm moving over a little bit so you can see. There we go.
So what shape do you think the Earth is, Robert?
It is a globe, most definitely.
And why do you hold that position?
Well, a couple different, one of my, I guess, life experiences, I've been flying for about 16 years as a private pilot with my instrument rating. So one of the things we'll be talking about tonight is actual navigation across the globe, which using real world systems, which would not work on flat Earth. So that'll be one of our points, and several other real world observations I've done myself versus just relying on watching other people's YouTube conspiracy videos. I've gone out and done some of my own observations, my own measurements using real world tools. So it'll be interesting to have this discussion with Michael and see what he can bring to the table to contest it.
Thank you, and thank you very much for joining. I really do appreciate it. Michael, welcome to the channel. You are the resident flat earther for today. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel.
Good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Glad to be here.
So, Michael, why do you hold the position that the Earth is flat?
Well, from observation, reality. He says real world. You mentioned real world experiences. From our everyday experiences, we experience the world as being level and flat throughout. I'm not sure if his senses tell him that the Earth is spinning or moving. From my experiences in everyday life, we don't experience the Earth moving at all.
Okay. Is it true that you own a solar power company?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to debate or anything, but what do you think the sun is?
The sun, I believe, is an electrode.
An electron?
Electrode.
Electrode, right? Okay.
Correct. Yeah. It's a positive charge, right?
Okay.
And the moon is a negative charge.
Okay.
All
right. Okay. Maybe we can have a talk about that later, because that's all incredibly wrong. But the way it's going to work, I'm going to let you both have 10 minutes to present evidence for your case, and then we'll just get into a back and forth discussion. You don't mind who goes first, so I'll just let the flat earther go first. Michael, over to you for 10 minutes. Please tell us why you think the Earth is flat. What evidence there is.
Okay. The first evidence we find is the constellations. The constellations have never changed. What we observe is the Earth is still and stationary, which is geocentric. The geocentric model has always been here since day creation, which is not millions of years ago. The Big Bang evolution theory is a new theory. It hasn't been around no longer than 500 years. At least it's been introduced over 1,000 years, but it hasn't been basically introduced to the system as a belief to the world until the 1500s. Ancient civilization is always known the shape of the Earth as being geocentric. It's been stationary. We know by observing the stars and the constellations that just like a planetarium, the ground is stationary and flat. You do have a walls that contain, and the skies, constellation stars start, and they begin every year in the same exact spot. By observing the stars alone tells me that if all the stars are circling from east to west around a central location, which the central location happens to be Polaris, which is a star that is called Polaris from being polarized, a system basically held together through electromagnetism. I know a lot of people on Facebook had other questions. I can jump around a little bit, but to stay on track, the heliocentric model is a new model. Freemason scientists came around, Newton, Galileo, Copernicus, Newton, Einstein, came around with these theories, men with theories that have nothing to back them up in real world reality. It's based off math, which anybody can make math fit their agenda. Can you show me a system, a heliocentric system, a model in every size and form? See, the two big excuses of why we can't feel anything, or why we're not able to see certain things. The Earth being too big and not able to see a certain distance is understanding perspective. And when we say that word, it seems like you guys are turned off because it doesn't work with your model, and it actually exposes it in every way. But on paper, it looks good, you know. And how I like to explain it is, it's like building a team. You build a team, it looks good on paper, but does it apply in reality? As far as the heliocentric model, that's a sun worshiping model. That was
got 2 minutes left.
Yep, that was basically introduced by the first pope. The Roman Catholic Church introduced it as a way of bringing in Christians and paganism together, and the sun worshiping, the sun being the center and everything revolving around the sun, is come from paganism, and it's been adopted in the United States. And the reason why you guys stick up for this system, this heliocentric system, so much is because it's all we were given, one model, and born in a time of deception, which is the end times. You know, we're in the times of like it was in Noah. We're seeing exactly what's happening in this new belief system. Is all new. This hasn't been around for thousands of years. And also the heliocentric has never been proven. We experienced the reality of a dome, the Earth being flat, there's being ice walls containing water, and a dome structure that's holding everything in, with the stars surrounding, revolving around us.
All right,
and
Michael, and that's your time.
Yep.
All right, thank you for that. Reds has attempted to join, but he had a bad connection. Reds, you there? No, he's not there yet. He will be here soon.
No worries.
That was interesting. I don't know if I'd use the word evidence, but it was certainly interesting. Robert, did you make notes, I guess?
Yeah, I took a few notes, so we'll address some of those later on. One of the key things that Michael kept referring back to was, Scripture, the Bible. We've known about this for so much time. But there's a lot of noise in the background. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but the Bible is not a book of science. The Bible, for all its good intentions, and the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, all the other religious texts, were written at a time when there were no laws, there were no governments. So they were written as a means to control man. And the knowledge of science at that period of time wasn't necessarily, well, like I say, wasn't that enhanced that great at all. They were just starting to learn and build instruments and really had to learn about the environment we lived in. So they wrote what they knew about. We've advanced quite a bit in thousands of years. Now we have very precise scientific instruments. We can measure things. We're not just using our eyeballs to look out of an airplane window at the horizon and say, oh, the horizon's rising to eye level. What does eye level even mean? It means you're looking down at the horizon. And you actually take tools of measurement and actually use scientific principles. You see, oh, well, that horizon isn't straight out level from me. It actually is dropping down. So we'll talk about that today as well. We're not just using an old text, we're actually using scientific tools and measurement tools used in the real world to validate things versus just saying, hey, my old book happened to say that this is what it was when we knew this back then. Because our knowledge just wasn't that great back then. So if you can take something in the Bible and say, yeah, the earth is flat, great. Prove it with scientific instruments, validate it, and then we'll move forward. But you don't see that. You'll see them we're gonna go there. I'm gonna go into Nathan Thompson right now, but you'll see them do instruments, and they'll purposely leave out facts. They won't give you all the details. When properly run experiments are run, you find out that we're actually measuring 15 degrees per hour using that laser ring gyroscope. Oh, well, that's not what it's measuring. Thanks, Bob. So I don't know if I'm going to go into actual, I'm not sure if we're going to go back and forth here, but that's all I want to do for intro, and then we'll start going through some specific evidences and discuss them back and forth.
Present your specific evidence, then you can have 10 minutes, and then we'll get into the back and forth.
All right, so let's go in the first one. I'm going to give you a second here to share out my screen.
Just before you do, Reds, you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
How you doing, buddy?
Well, I was better before someone decided to put their car straight on their roof and had
lost
to catch
the window
on fire,
Google in it.
which,
Let me know when you're ready for me to share.
Made some traffic. So yeah.
So
I was better before that, but now I'm here. So yippee.
Awesome. Well, we have Robert Greenlee, who is a private pilot and does a lot of work in computer, debating for the Globe, and we have Michael, who owns a solar power company and is debating for the flat Earth.
Sounds great.
You just missed the flat Earth evidence, but just refer back to any flat Earth debate you've heard, and that was pretty much the evidence.
Understood.
Cool. Robert, over to you.
Okay, so let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, hoping it's not feeding back here. Okay, so this resort you happen to be seeing on the screen is in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. And I think, 2-3 years ago.
I'm getting a little flashing on the screen there.
Okay.
You're flickering.
It might be the upload speed not keeping up very well, but we'll see what we can do here. So just give me a little context. Whenever we were on vacation, I had my trusty flat earther Nikon P900 with me. And I was hoping to kind of see a large ship sailing out in the distance so I could go out there and capture it. And one of the last days we were there, I was at my room. Yeah, let's see here if I can move this another screen out of the way. I'm not sure if you can see my cursor or not. I had a room basically right up.
There we go.
Okay, it's kind of bouncing around. Kind of up in these rooms up above, and I happened to see a ship out in the distance. So I grabbed the camera and I ran out there. So I took a view from kind of the corner where you see my cursor right here. And then I walked all the way down to the beach, took an observation of the ship from the beach, and then I walked up each flight of stairs, so about 10 feet at a time, so I can basically get an observation from different heights, and then compare what was going on with that ship. And the reason for doing that is I thought these are kind of rudimentary sketches, but I'm going to bring this over here. If we're looking at the globe model, I'll zoom this in a little bit to get it as big as I can. If I'm sitting over here at this lower altitude, I'm observing the ship, and it's hidden behind the curvature of the Earth, I can only see the top of the ship. If I raise my altitude, I can now see over the curvature of the Earth and see more of the ship. You always hear the flat earthers cry about, oh, the law of perspective makes things smaller. Well, yeah, it does make things smaller from the top all the way to the bottom. It doesn't make things disappear from the bottom up. If we looked at that from again, the rudimentary picture of the flat Earth model, bring this over here. It doesn't matter what height I am. If I'm looking across a flat plane, I'm going to see that same ship. So that's kind of my just rudimentary things. So let's go look at this video, and hopefully it comes out okay. So let me know when you see the video screen. So I jumped ahead all the way to me standing on the beach. So now we're probably, the height of the camera is probably about 7 feet up. I'm going to start playing the video, and I'm going to pause it once I get zoomed out on this ship. And this is a pretty big tanker. It took me a bit to find it, but I actually found a picture of the tanker.
That's some pretty good footage.
Yeah. So you're only seeing the kind of the very, very top of that tanker. So I'm zoomed in. That's, I think, pretty much maximum P900 zoom at that point in time. So no, if I had the biggest telescope in the world and zoomed in even further, I'm not going to see any more of that ship. So now I walked back up the beach. I'm not going to make you guys kind of watch that. So I'm just going to jump to a timestamp here. Unless Michael really wants me to have people watch me walk up the stairs, but we shouldn't have to do that. Okay, so now you can see I'm about, I think about 20 feet above the sand. I went up one floor. I'm zooming in again. And look at that. We're actually seeing quite a bit more of the ship. We're seeing that top of the scaffolding that's you'll see once we get more view of the ship. So I don't know, if I had to guess, we're maybe seeing about 20 feet more of the ship, 10 to 20 feet more. So let's climb another set of stairs. And zoom back in again. So now we're probably about 30 feet above the water. Now I'm starting to see the darker color of the ship from the hull. So you can see quite a bit more there. Now let's go to the top of the stairs. So all I'm doing, I'm not changing the distance of the ship. This video is pretty much continuous. It's just under 9 minutes long. So the ship's not sailing away from me. It's not changing its distance. I'm not changing my distance as well, because all I'm doing is climbing up a set of stairs. And you can see that each time I go higher in altitude for the camera view, I'm seeing more and more of this ship. Let's go to the highest point now. It's all the way back up at the kind of the building where my room is at. So I would say maybe 300 feet further away from the ship, but now probably about 30 feet even higher. And now you can see the majority of that ship. So I'd really like Michael's explanation of why, by only changing the height of the camera, I can see more and more of the ship in each one of those increments, which follows the curvature model exactly. So I'll stop there for now.
Okay, that's quite impressive. Breds, what do you think of that footage? Reds, you there?
Yes, I am. Sorry. Yeah, footage reminds me of the observation I did back in 2016.
Let's see what Michael thinks. And just for everybody, Michael is driving right now, so he's looking at this on his phone screen. So hopefully he's able to see enough of that and understand what I was talking about.
Trust me, I understand completely what you're saying.
Cool. Robert, you can hear Reds, right? You should be able to hear him.
I can't hear Reds, no.
Oh, why is he not? You're on the same thing. You should be able to hear everything going out to you.
Well, that's a problem.
Give me 1 sec, and I will sort that out.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I heard Michael.
All right. Can we?
Oh, yeah, I know why, because I'm an idiot. Right.
Well, I know this.
Can you still hear me, Robert?
May I address a couple things?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Okay.
wait.
My introduction was just to explain how this heliocentric model has not always been around. I never referenced. The only thing I referenced to the Bible is we were born in a time of deception, which were the times of like Noah and before the flood, during the flood. So I wasn't making any claims out of the Bible. That
Okay,
the earth
Michael,
is
give me
flat.
1 sec. Reds,
So
what I'm
that
going to
way-
do, I'm going to send you the link to the Google Hangouts they're in instead. All right?
Okay.
All right, give me a sec. Sorry, Michael, carry on.
Address it.
Hang on just a moment, Michael. Let him figure out the audio issue.
Yeah, that's okay. I still address it again. It's all right.
Sorry. Let me get that.
I'll address everything.
For some reason,
Clearly.
only one of the channels vMix is coming through to you. I don't know why that is. Let me just get Reds the new link.
It's so easy.
Okay. Sorry, that's my fault, guys.
The fact that
I'll just meet you both in there.
All right, there you go. That's better. Okay, sorry, Michael. Over to you again.
No, I don't. No worries. I'm here. I'm here only because I care. Oh, my time.
Okay, Michael. So I'll accept what you're saying. I was talking about flat earthers in general, but let's stay on track, and I'd like to hear your explanation of the evidence.
Well, real quick. No, I am on track, and I want to address what you guys you said, because I know how you guys work. So again, I never addressed the Bible. I was explaining how the geocentric model was here first. The heliocentric was adopted through what you guys called scientists, with theories, and the heliocentric model comes from sun worshiping, and it's a paganism, and it's a type of religion. If you don't know it or not, when you throw the word out science out there, it's very vague when you guys throw out their science. I mean, modern day science is been proven wrong over and over again. Every scientist has been. Say that I wasn't referencing the Bible to anything that had to do with the shape of the Earth. I did reference the constellations not changing, and that the Earth is stationary and geocentric. About the eye level in the airplane,
All right.
mentioned how.
All right, Michael. Just before you go on, Reds is back in now, so I want to let Reds introduce himself again, so you guys can hear him.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted Reds to comment on the footage from Robert. So just give me 1 sec. Reds, over to you.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. What's up, guys? Can you hear me now?
Hey, Reds.
Yes,
Yep.
we can.
So sorry about that. Was stuck in traffic because someone decided to flip their SUV on their roof and it caught on fire. So now that that's out of the way, hi. So nice to meet both
Understand.
of you. And as far as what I've heard so far, I liked the ship footage that you were able to present and explain. So kudos there. I did the same thing on my observation back in 2016 or 17, somewhere around there. So I'm well familiar with it. But with that, I'm just here to kind of help fight the flat earth moderate, and I'm going to leave it to you two gladiators to duke it out, and I'll be here in the background. So nice to meet both of you.
Nice to meet you, Eddie.
Thanks for that, Reds. Sorry, Michael, for interrupting. Please carry on.
No worries. No worries at all. And I understand. I'm in traffic too. I get it. I just wanted to address that I wasn't relating the Bible as my evidence. My evidence I was bringing was trying to give you guys a perspective of, you guys were saying that the heliocentric's always been around, which it hasn't. This is something that's been introduced by Eratosthenes, but it never stuck, just like water doesn't stick to any spinning ball. There's no experiment you can do that even predicts the Earth's movement, let alone water sticking to an outside of a spinning sphere. Spheroid, oblate spheroid, chubby at the equator. However, the spinning ball is, explained. But I wanted to address his video that he posted, and I got to see it vaguely, but we've all been through this experiment. The reason why I believe in what I believe is that we live in a geocentric with a flat plane, and with a structure overhead with some ice walls containing water, was from doing experiments. I did the same one you did, and understanding what perspective is when you do rise up, you are going to see further. Everybody knows that. That's basics of knowing perspective. It's simple. The higher you rise up, the more you'll see, and that's not what we're arguing about. And I understand your argument is, why am I going higher and able to see more? Well, that's because you're going higher and you're able to see more on a flatter plane. That doesn't mean you're on a globe. The reason why you're not able to see is from distortion. You got atmosphere distortion, you got the water, you have the convergent point, which is your vanishing point, is not at the ship.
Okay. You've gone on quite a bit there. Do you think we could give Robert a chance to just respond to some of the things you said there?
Okay, yeah. I'll just explain why he sees what he's seeing in the video, but yeah, his point is the reason why he can't see it from ground level, and the camera is zooming into the convergent point in the middle of the water. It's not able to see further. That's the reason why. It doesn't mean you live on a ball, because the higher you go up, the lower the horizon would be. It would never be just under your eye level vision. The word level, you don't want to use that word, but
let's address that for just a moment.
It would go downward if you were on.
Okay. All right. You got your So
yes, that doesn't explain the way you live on a ball. That just explains.
Right, Michael.
Okay, Michael. Let Robert have a chance to reply now.
All right. So another observation I took,
makes no sense.
Again, with a theodolite at this was at 35,600 feet. The crosshair, and I know it'll be kind of hard for you to see, Michael.
I can see it perfectly fine. I researched all of this.
Okay, great. So
what you're seeing is that white.
Michael,
wait, Michael, hold on. Michael, hold on. Michael, hold on. Let Robert get his point out, then you can respond. Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
So this was my own observation. Basically, the crosshairs. Michael, you got a lot of background though. I don't know if you can mute when you're not talking.
Yeah, for sure.
So the crosshairs is basically, if you notice up here, elevation level is 0.0 degrees. It took me about 10 times to get it, because the airplanes bounce around. 10 times to get that where everything is perfectly zero. So that crosshair is level, looking straight out. You can see the horizon is quite a bit below level. So that's definitely not, the horizon is not coming up to level at all.
What makes you think that's the horizon?
Michael,
sorry,
Michael,
let me ask you a question. What makes you think that's the horizon?
I'm not done yet, Michael.
Michael, let him finish his point, and then you can ask a question, okay?
Okay, sorry.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, here's another observation done by somebody else from going looking through the heads-up display on their aircraft. You'll notice they're up at 40,000 feet, and there's no measurement here, but just from some observation, you can see that this horizon line going across the middle of the screen is even higher above the horizon than my image, which is expected because they are about 5,000 feet higher than I was. So the higher up you go, when you actually measure, not just use your eyeballs, when you actually measure what is straight out level from your eyes, the horizon gets lower and lower and lower. Going back to the video real fast. You're talking about when we're looking through different layers of atmosphere. It went from a difference of 6 feet above the beach to 20 feet above the beach to 30 feet to 40 feet. There is not that much difference in the atmosphere. That is a false claim to try to say, well, the atmosphere is different because you happen to be at a higher location. And the claim that if we were on a flat plane, I would expect to see more if I raise the altitude. No, you wouldn't, because everything's flat. You get the same view all the way across. We see more because we're looking across curvature. All right, back to you, Michael.
I don't understand.
Siri's trying to talk to me.
We're looking about Carpenter. But I could
What?
search the web for...
I triggered my Siri.
Siri wants to join in the debate.
She does. All right, Michael. So go ahead.
Michael, you there? You need to unmute yourself, I think.
Yes, I'm here.
Yep. So do you want to respond to that?
Yes, of course. Based on his observation, there is some more distortion when you're lower at the ground level. Again, it's a false horizon, no matter how you look at it. The horizon goes further and further, the more closer you get to it. Now, what happens is your accesses, your horizontal and vertical accesses converge, right? So the horizon that you think is horizon, which is a curve, the reason why at his height level, if he were to pan that camera at 360, it would be level throughout. And that's not possible on a ball. Now, he says he was at, I think he said 40,000 feet.
So
So
my image was at 35,000 feet.
35, I'm sorry. Yes, 35,000 feet. So based on the measurements of Earth that was given to us from your scientists, with the radius of being 3,958 miles, there's curvature. There's a math formula of curvature, and I understand that you guys are aware of it. There has to be.
Do you know what it is? Out of interest.
Yes, I am aware of it. I know we all are. At 50 miles,
God,
we should see an exclusive amount of curvature. If he's saying, so at 50 miles, right, the Earth is too big, we're told, we should see, what is it, 2,000 or 266 feet of drop, I believe.
and just to be clear, you're
Is that what it
referencing
is?
the 8 inches per square miles formula, right?
So based on that, at 44,000 feet, I'm referencing to that. Also, what I'm saying is that 44,000 feet or 35,000 feet, how much curvature would you see if the Earth's radius was 3,958 feet? At 44,000 feet, the horizon shouldn't even be close to your level of eye, and it would go downward. At no height can you see the Earth's curve because there is no curvature.
All right, so
The
let's
reason why there's no curvature, and we know
right.
All right,
from
Michael.
observation,
All right, Michael. Let
there's no way
Robert
you
respond.
can duplicate this spinning ball heliocentric,
Okay, Michael.
water sticking
Michael,
from it,
Michael, hold
and
on.
create a habitat at any size or level.
Michael,
In
I don't
our
want to have to
model,
mute you.
We can create our model at
Michael,
any size.
Michael, I don't want to have to mute you. Please let Robert respond.
That's a big
okay?
difference. So that's science.
Is he listening?
All
to
right.
that?
Throwing
go.
the word science out there and using math and pictures is not enough for us.
Michael, can you hear us at all?
All right, let's mute him already because he refused
Yeah.
to meme spam
Breaking
the
up.
voice.
Yeah, I'll let Robert respond. I'm going to mute it just in case.
Yeah, please
All right.
do give Robert a chance to respond instead of going off on multiple points. Okay.
All right. So I don't really like using memes. One of the first things he said was obviously wrong, and the graphic I have up on the screen says, "Here's that person standing up on top of the ball, and he's looking 360 degrees all the way around. And notice that distance to the horizon is the same, 360 degrees all the way around, because he's standing on a sphere."
Guys,
Okay, why do you keep interrupting when I'm trying to explain?
Hang on,
I'm
hang on,
happy to let you
Yeah,
respond.
yeah. Michael,
Hang on. I
Michael,
do not
you're just
believe.
breaking up, that's all.
I do not believe that Michael has. I don't believe Michael is actually hearing us because there's a connection issue. I don't think it's his fault.
Okay, that could be the case.
Yes, thank you guys.
Yeah.
I can't hear
Okay.
you, sorry.
yeah.
All right.
Michael, just
Let's-
make sure you give Robert a chance to finish what he's saying before you interject. Okay.
All right, so let's look at another, God, I hate bringing up memes, but they work. This was an analysis, a computer model done of how much curvature you would see standing at the beach, saying at the top of the Statue of Liberty, on a commercial flight, a MiG flight, kind of et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is that commercial flight. And so basically 36,000 feet, about how much curvature you see. And you really can't see that much. It is slight. And if there's any clouds in the sky, like even my own image looking over here, oops, let me get, sorry, give me 1 second to bring it back up again. My own image, there are a layer of haze, there's kind of some clouds. So the horizon, even though it looks a little bit curved there, I would say it's not definitive because there's clouds and other stuff in the sky, which is why I love this image from a pilot friend of mine where he took this picture from the cockpit of his A320. He's an airline pilot in Asia, through the cockpit front window, which by regulation has to be optically pure. There cannot be any imperfections in the front window because it would mess up the pilot's perspective when he's coming in to land, and that's a really bad thing to do when you got 200-300 passengers behind you. You notice he took it right at sunrise, so the sun is highlighting the actual physical horizon. And if you compare that horizon to what was predicted in the computer model, it's pretty darn close. Maybe not exact, but so you can definitely see those two different curvatures matching up with each other exactly as the globe model predicts. So it's not a fisheye camera. He was actually taken with his iPhone, which is not a fisheye lens, through the front windshield, which is optically pure. So they can't say it's fisheye. They can't say it's the window and the full side window in the airplane causing this. It's just a iPhone picture taken through the front window. I'll show one other, and then I'll let Michael respond. This one, he just backed up a little bit. It was actually on a different flight, but ow, come on now. Where did it go? Come back here. I lost it. Oh, it closed for some reason. That was weird. 1 second.
Technology. We all love it.
Yeah. So this one was he kind of backed up a little bit. So he caught the pillar of the window frame there, which is perfectly straight, and yet you still see that same curvature. So what do you think, Michael?
Michael?
Yes, I'm back. Yeah, I'm here. What do I think of that picture? I think that is no evidence that we live on a ball whatsoever. What it is it's trying to find any source of hope for any way to prove that you live on a ball. And what you're doing is you're trying to find the smallest thing that you can find to prove that we don't live on a stationary geocentric Earth. Which the words are all derived from geocentric.
Michael, to be fair, he asked specifically what you think about this image and what it represents.
And I am. I'm getting to it.
He did say that it matches the globe predictions. That is what we are supposed to see. So how do you respond to that?
Yeah, exactly my point. That's not what we're supposed to see.
And do you have any evidence to back that up?
Yes, there would be a tremendous amount of curvature at that height. If we live at what they say the distance of the Earth is at its radius,
I think he missed the point there. He showed the predicted curve, and that is what the predicted curve, according to the globe math, would show.
Wait a second. Predictive curve he said again, he showed a CGI meme, right? And just showing it, right?
Yeah,
using technology.
That meme
yes.
is mapped out to show what the globe Earth curve should be at certain heights. And it matches what he has in this picture.
Right. That meme explained it, right? He brought a meme here, which that shows that picture that he's showing is not a flat horizon. At that height, what I'm saying is at that height, if we lived on a ball, there would be more curvature. That is not correct.
And do you have evidence to back up that assertion?
Yes, by the measurements of the Earth.
So Michael, have you actually modeled that, or are you making an assumption without actually modeling it yourself?
No, not making an assumption at all. What I'm seeing is that picture, first of all, doesn't have any curve.
Actually, it does. Really? Let's just do a poll in the audience of how many people see curvature in that.
Well, no, that's the first part of it. Is you got to be real with yourself. There's no curvature there. You want to see curvature.
Are you fucking with me?
No,
how many people in the audience see curvature?
If you look at the picture, you think that's where the land ends, where you see the darkness. Well, that light, right? that light, and I'm not fucking with you. I mean, you don't have to say that. What I'm saying is that light is obstruction your view of seeing further. That horizon isn't even the horizon that you view. It would be if you would pan a camera 360 around at that height, you would see it curve downward around you. It would not go completely flat. That's why horizon means flat.
I just want to clarify exactly what you're saying here, just to make sure I've got this right. You're saying that in the picture that Robert is showing there isn't any curve.
I'm showing there is no curvature whatsoever.
And to confirm, you can see the picture on the left, taken from the plane, right? You can see that one.
Yes, and what I'm trying to say is,
and you are saying there's no curvature.
What you think is and what you think is the horizon is the dark part is the light is obstruction your view of seeing further. It's actually further. And if you take the math, right, of the radius of the Earth, which is what? What is the radius of the Earth? The measurements.
About 4,
what is it?
Miles.
It's 3,958 miles, right? So if that's the radius of the Earth, which is given to us, at how many feet should we see curvature? At 100 miles, how much curvature should we see?
Well, it shows you there on that graphic what you should see at 100 kilometers.
That's what I'm saying. So if you were raising up 35,000 feet in the air, you would see a tremendous amount of curve. If that's the shape, if that's the true measurements of the Earth.
What's obvious, Craig, is that Michael's never actually modeled it. He's just making an incorrect assumption because he doesn't want to actually look it up.
No, I actually looked it up. I just told you. The radius of the Earth, going with the radius of the Earth, I did. Trust me, way before 2017.
Yeah.
Before, what I'm trying to explain to you is this.
So
the Earth,
could you reference us any modeling like software, anything that you use to determine this?
So I'm not allowed to use memes, right? Because
no, I'm not asking for memes. You said
you can use it.
Now I got to use software and all that.
You can use it as long as you explain it.
Okay, what it is you guys can't prove your model in any way whatsoever. You can't make a replicate that model, the spinning heliocentric model, at a small or big scale. There's no way, and there's no scientific way.
So
that's where.
To be clear, are you
changing topic?
Yeah, to be clear, Michael, are you saying that in science you have to replicate something smaller to prove that it's true? Is that what you're saying?
Not smaller. No, I didn't say that. And you're putting words in my mouth. I said you have to replicate it at any size. Not just small.
All right. To clarify, in science, you're saying that we have to replicate something on a different scale to prove that it's true. Is that right?
No, you have to replicate it over and over again with an experiment, right? And get the same results over and over and over again. That's what science is. You have to be able to do an experiment,
and the experiment
and
has
get the
to be
same result.
Replicating
There's
the
no
exact
globe.
thing.
No,
I'm
you're
just
not. You're
confused as to what
showing
you're
how
saying.
you go higher. You're just showing us listing basics of perspective. As you rise higher, you can see more. We understand that. Well, how come I can't see furthermore from the ground when I zoom in? Because the reason why is you don't understand how perspective works. The points are conversion to the point in the middle of the water, not to the boat. The camera's not able to converge in the water because it's being distorted by what's in front of it. And there's a lot of things. That's one.
I've got so much that I want to say, but Robert.
I know you're dying inside, Craig. He's absolutely hilarious. But so let's flip it a little bit. Because Michael hasn't had a chance to.
I guess science is hilarious. It's an experiment you do over and over again and get the same results, but you can't show me the spinning globe model at any, even big, small. You have to replicate it.
I want to put it back in your court for a minute because I've been presenting evidence. I want you to see one, Michael. Be quiet for a second. I want you to present one piece of evidence that we can look up that would prove the Earth is flat.
I already gave you plenty.
I want you to pick one of those. Just one.
I have hundreds.
I want you to
just pick one.
I already did. It was in my intro while I was trying to explain why you believe in what you believe in, because it was given to you.
Okay.
Right,
Michael.
The Constellations.
Michael, hold on. Right. Let me moderate for a second. Can you present some empirical evidence to support your claims?
Yes.
Go ahead. That'd be lovely.
Empirical evidence, just using your own senses.
That's not what empirical evidence is.
Okay, empirical evidence. The constellations, again, just using that one. That's just one.
You know they change, right?
Constellations. No, they start exactly the same.
I mean,
they go exactly
sailors would
every
disagree.
year
You know, wait, hold on. I'm not going to let you
And-
just
and that's
lie, Michael. Hold on,
impossible
Michael. You don't get to just
ask the
lie.
question.
The stars have changed over the years.
Lie?
That's why almanacs are updated by
I
sailors
lied?
throughout the centuries. Yes, that saying the stars
No.
don't change is a lie because they do. Please don't present lies.
No. Okay, I'm not presenting lies. And first of all, sailors have used the stars ever
Yeah.
since the beginning of time to be able to travel on this.
And that's why they updated the movement of the
circumnavigate.
stars, Michael. That's why they updated the movement of the stars in almanacs throughout the centuries, so that they could chart the movement and still navigate correctly. The movement of the
The
stars has
stars
been
have never
charted by
changed.
sailors.
They circumnavigate, right? They circumnavigate, right?
Okay,
Not
Robert, I'm
around
sorry,
a sphere,
okay, my
upside
bad.
down on a ship. That's just you can't even make water stick to a ball, let alone a ship
Okay, right.
sail around a ball.
Right. So to be
There's
clear,
no science
your
with that.
big empirical evidence for Robert to talk about here is that the constellation and stars don't change.
No, that's one of many.
Right. Well, let's
'Cause, you know-
focus on that. Robert, what do you have to say?
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's certainly not my area of expertise, but when I've looked at it before and looked at the details, I found that that's actually not the case. Like Polaris didn't used to be the North Star. What was it? Like Octus? What did it used to be, Craig?
Sigma Tannis? I'm not. No. I don't know
Yeah,
exactly what it is.
exactly. So,
It was a different one, and in about 6,000 years, it's going to be a different one again. Yeah.
exactly. So they
Okay.
they
This
are
is
slowly changing over
absurd.
time.
This is not. This is false accusations, and this is. Where do you get this from? That
Historical
Polaris was
almanacs.
never the center star.
Yes. Look at you like history books, Michael. Look up the history, and it'll show you that the Polaris has not always been the North Star. It's changed over time.
It is moved around in a circle slightly because of inertia.
Nope.
Everything revolves around that center North Star. That's the true center star. That's why a compass, right, always points to the north no matter where you're at.
Does
It
Australia
can't
mean
be
nothing to
possible on the
you?
bottom of your ball. But
Are
the
you-
point is that a compass points to the center Polaris star, and we've observed the stars have always rotated around that. And
Michael, what's
Earth
the
is
difference?
station.
Michael, what's the difference between magnetic north and true north?
The magnetic north and the true north?
Yeah, what's the difference?
Well, I believe they're the same, and they come from the same central location.
They're actually not, because
I know you're told that, yeah.
I mean, for example, in my state of Colorado, God, I think it's like 7 degrees right now. The magnetic north is off from true north,
Right.
and it's something that pilots have to calculate in when they're actually. Not that we do mapping on paper maps as much anymore, but if I were to actually plot a course on a paper map, I have to go look at the magnetic variation line and say, okay, well, true north would have been, say, heading of 120, and in this area, the magnetic variation is 7 degrees. So I need to basically say, okay, now my heading, instead of being 120, is going to be 127, because it's constantly, they're not constantly changing, but every year they make small corrections to it, even to the point that runways sometimes have to be renamed. Instead of runway 10, maybe it becomes runway 11, because the magnetic variations change enough that the compass headings, the map doesn't line up with that runway anymore. So it's definitely not true. First of all, magnetic north is different than true north, and it actually changes over time.
Okay, that's never the center point in true north, and the true center is Polaris. It's always been that way. The constellations have never
You
changed.
just ignored the point. You said they were the same, but they're not. Are you accepting that
No.
they're not the same?
So,
What I
Michael,
explained is
just so you don't
magnetic-
stay on this miscomprehension,
Right.
here are historical almanacs that sailors used. One from 1850, one from 1900, one from 2017, and they have the declination of Polaris charted in them. And as you can see, it is very different, and actually also charts the amount of movement that it's had each year. And these almanacs are also charting the movement of a lot of other stars. Why would these almanacs exist, and why would sailors update them constantly if the stars didn't move, including Polaris?
I didn't say Polaris is the center star. Everything's we observed forever. And
Is
it's never
Australia
changed.
a joke to you?
Why would you go from Polaris to Australia? Australia
Because in Australia, Polaris is not the center star.
From your observing.
No.
Center
Actually, do me a favor, phone Australia, anyone, and ask them to go outside and look at Polaris. I guarantee you they can't do it.
You can't see Polaris because it's too far from the center. That's from perspective.
But they have a different center. No, you're not understanding, Michael. They have a different center that stars rotate around. You know that, right?
No, they don't. Yeah, the southern stars appear to shift opposite.
Wow.
Right? That's due to perspective. We explained this to you about
Denai
the southern stars. You guys can't see. The reason why the northern people can't see the Southern Cross, it's because it's out of your vision. It's too far to see. We know this. We've explained. The thing is, you can't. There's no detection of a moving Earth, right? And he brought up, what is it? The pendulum, right? The faucet pendulum.
I never brought that up. No.
24 hours. That means.
I believe you said you detect the Earth's movement using that.
And if the gyroscope is mounted anywhere on Earth, it's going to.
All right. So Mike, you think we can't feel the Earth moving? Do you believe the Concorde was real? Was the Concorde a real aircraft?
I didn't want to jump around, but you're going to the feeling of the Earth movement. We were the whole reason why you can't see curvature. You should see more curvature at your height. We should talk about that. Is I gave you the measurements of the Earth, and I asked specific questions multiple times. And you guys,
we showed you a computer model given the dimensions of the Earth of what the curvature should be, and it matched up perfectly to what the picture was.
Okay. So
you can't show something that you modeled that would show it being different from what my model shows. So if you can't model it yourself, put something in the AutoCAD with map out the Earth, zooming out until you can model it. You can't do that.
You literally said we're just going to talk and have a discussion. No memes, no nothing. I have tons of evidence to show that where we live, but I didn't as footage.
No, I told you to come prepared, and you obviously haven't.
Yeah, I mean, I did give
I
you
did come
the format.
prepared, and I am prepared. And what you're bringing is false evidence.
You're driving in your car with no ability to present any actual evidence other than words that you can't back up.
No actual evidence.
Exactly. You haven't presented any evidence at all. None.
The stars?
Exactly. And we've already explained to you that premise was wrong. It's documented that the stars had changed.
No, it's not. That's why the constellations are exactly the same.
They're not.
You're telling me right now, you're telling me that they've shifted and moved to around a different star, and nothing has changed in the sky. All our sign symbols, nothing has changed.
Michael, you do know that they literally changed the entire horoscope recently because the constellations changed so much, right? Please tell me you're aware of that.
I'm very aware that the constellations have not changed.
I just told you the constellations were changed.
It doesn't
recently.
matter what you said. Just because you said it doesn't mean that's true. Where have you? Nobody's observed.
I mean,
the
they literally changed. Michael, they changed the horoscopes because the constellations had moved so much. This is a fact.
We're an hour in. I would love to show another huge evidentiary proof that I have.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. You guys brought no evidence, right? You said I haven't. No evidence of this. All you did is go higher. And so, look, I can see more. And not understanding how perspective works, yes, everybody knows I addressed that. And then we talked about your horizon pictures.
Do me a favor.
Think there's curvature. And at 3,958 with the radius, you should see more curvature. Do me a favor, right? Pan that camera around 360. I guarantee it's a flat horizon. Because that's not possible on a ball. Even your Neil deGrasse Tyson said you can't even see the curvature.
Neil deGrasse Tyson fallacy, not allowed.
Yeah. All right, Michael. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah,
so,
it's not allowed.
Are you a believer that the AE map is somewhat accurate representation of a flat Earth?
The AE map?
Yep.
The azimuthal equidistant projection map.
Yes, I'm aware of it. Yes,
and you think Australia really looks like that?
I believe the Gleason's map is the most accurate. And what you got to understand is it's broken up. The reason why they use that map, right? The reason why they use that map, the center of it is smaller. The squares, the area radius is smaller, and it gets bigger as you get wider out. The distances are not accurate on a flat map that you guys use for projection of the globe.
So, Michael, are you aware that on an AE map, the distances that radiate out from the center are accurate? So your latitudes are accurate. And the guy who designed the map says, from a center point outwards, the distances are accurate. But from left to right, they are inaccurate. This is coming from Gleason himself, who designed that. So why do you think, if it's an accurate map, why do you think even the guy who designed the map says, it's only accurate from center point out and not from left to right?
What we believe is the map distance projected, right? The projected map. The distances from left to right are accurate in what we observe in our reality with the sun and stars.
Whoa.
Now, I believe.
Oh, my brain.
Well, yeah.
So you think that Australia is about 4 times wider than it is tall?
And about 6 times the size of Canada?
No, if you look at the size of the squares.
Yeah, that makes it a lot bigger.
Right.
So, Michael, interesting side point about the Gleason's map. The guy that came up with it, Gleason, he registered a patent on it.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, so in that patent, he quite clearly states that it's based on a globe. What do you say to that?
Well, the word globe, right, was never derived from a spherical standpoint.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, right? That's, I know, it's painful.
You are painful, honestly. Wow.
That's a good one, Michael. All right, Michael. So
it's not a good one.
I have on the screen.
Reality.
All right, look at the picture I have on the screen, Michael.
That's why you're trying to go 35,000 feet and still can't any curvature.
Reds, I need to go to Riley. You look after it for a sec.
All right, Michael, back to the screen. So do you know, Michael, do you understand what the... Michael, stop. Do you know what the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn are?
Yes, very well.
So can you explain in your words what they are?
Yes, there are 3 planes that the sun and moon travel on. It gives us our seasons. Based on that information, the points match up to your guys' spherical model, which is a flat map blown into a globe.
Okay, so if I'm looking at the AE map here, and it has the Tropic of Cancer is kind of the red circle in the middle, and then the Tropic of Capricorn is on the outside. It's a much larger circle, so one is small, one is large. So on the AE map, the distances, if I was flying around these circumferences, it would be much smaller for the Tropic of Cancer and much larger for Capricorn. Is that correct?
The traveling the distance?
Yeah, if I'm doing a certificate, if I'm flying around the circumferences of the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, on flat Earth, Capricorn would be many times longer.
Okay, I'm back.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So if I look at it on the globe, it's kind of a poor representation, but the Tropic of Cancer is at 23.5 degrees north of the equator. Tropic of Capricorn is 23.5 degrees south of the equator. They're the exact same distance. So on the globe, they would be the same distance, but on flat Earth, they would be vastly different. You agree?
Do I agree with that?
Yeah.
I agree that it is the same projection.
That's not what I said. So on the globe model, they would be the same distance, but you already admitted that on your model, on the AE model and the flat Earth model, they would be different. So which one is it?
No, I'm saying they're the same as it is in the globe model.
So
it's just the speeds of the sun that it's traveling.
No, you're diverting. You're not listening.
No, I'm not diverting.
If I take a basketball and I wrap a string around the basketball,
it's the same.
3 inches on the top, and I do the same thing 3 inches at the bottom. Those are the length of string is the same. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So the same thing on the globe. The Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn are the same distance from the poles. So if I were flying around those tropics, it's going to be the exact same distance, or very, very close to it. Where on the flat Earth model, as you admitted, they're going to be vastly different. So let's take a look at it again. This is where I kind of come in, being a pilot. This application that's up on the screen, it's called ForFlight. It is something that you can go buy on your own. It's about I don't know, about $100 a year, depending on which tier you get. But ForFlight's used by millions of pilots around the world to navigate. And what I did in here is I basically told it, I want you to map a path around the globe. Oops, I'm trying to click on my screen. I got to do it on the iPad. Basically at 23.4 degrees north, and basically kind of take a waypoint about every 30 degrees around the world. So I'm telling you, I want to fly around that circumference. I couldn't do it like every single point because it would be millions of points. And you'll actually see, if I zoom in on this, that each one of these lines actually has a little bit of a great circle route in it because the app is trying to force me to fly a great circle route. But if you notice, as I scroll around it, I'm basically following along, right along the Tropic of Cancer. And if I were to show this, I think I had this up somewhere real fast. Give me 1 second. Got too many windows open up. I apologize.
Oh, that high IQ research.
Yep. Oh, there it is. If I look at this, oops, I gotta bring this other one out of the way now. Yeah, come here. It's come here. There we go. If I look at it on basically a flat view, this is actually the Tropic of Capricorn, but you can basically see it's the same line all the way across. So this is basically just a 2D view of what I'm showing you in the 3D view.
Yes, all points intersect the same. We know.
Yep. Okay.
Nothing new.
So
you're not explaining anything. We don't.
You're not letting me finish. Stop interrupting and let me finish.
So explain any of my answers.
Here I've plotted the flight all the way around the Tropic of Cancer, about every 30 degrees apart from my waypoints. It's 19,833 nautical miles, which is different statute miles, but with aviation we do everything in nautical miles. Now if I change this over and I say, show me the same thing, but the Tropic of Capricorn, which is now 23.3 to 4 degrees south of the equator. Oh, look at that, 19,833 nautical miles. So this is a real-world application that millions of pilots use to make sure that they can navigate from point A to point B and get there without running out of gas, without crashing in the ocean. It has to be accurate because
that proves we live on a globe. That proves we live on a ball.
It does.
You can't circumnavigate and drive an airplane over a flat plane and get the same coordinates, the same distance.
Not when you're
they projected. Do you understand they projected the map into a sphere?
No, they projected the
original map and they made it into a ball, and all the points intersect and everything meets perfect. They understand that a circumference of a circle.
Oh, Michael, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you came from backwards reality. That's my bad. I should have noticed.
Well, this is the heliocentric theory is new.
Totally not. That's a lie.
Okay, so how is that how come everything I say you just say it's a lie?
Because that is a blatant lie. They've known that it's a globe since at least 2,500 years ago.
2000? Who was that?
You ever heard of Eratosthenes?
Yes, Eratosthenes. His whole theories went dead and dry. Nobody even believed him. It wasn't until the 1500s they started.
I mean, all the Greeks believed him, but the sailors believed him.
The sailors used the stars, like I said, for thousands of years to circumnavigate.
Hey, any idea how a sextant works?
Yes, and it only works on a flat plane, not on a globe.
That is a 100% lie. It only works on a globe.
Well, possibilities of it. Okay, so that makes it prove that we live on a ball.
If a sextant only works on a globe and it works, then
it only works on a globe.
Yeah, 100%.
You said so. You're saying it only works on a globe.
Yeah, I've used them several times. Being a sailor, a sextant only works on a globe.
Okay, and a periscope and
a periscope isn't a sextant.
Submarines. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. All those devices only work on the globe.
A periscope could work on either, but you'd see further on a flat Earth. But a sextant only works on a globe with the positions of the stars that we have.
Exactly, and they have never changed, and that's the whole point.
That's another lie. Please stop lying.
Well, how am I lying? Because
I showed you the almanacs where they charted the movements of the stars.
So the almanacs show that it's changed? No.
Yes, they do. That's exactly what they show.
No, I'm saying nobody's observed it, and it's always been that way.
Apart from all the sailors that charted it in the almanacs showing the movements of the stars.
Yes, they go back exactly the same every year.
No,
nothing has changed.
Are you not listen? They chart the movement of the stars. They are in different positions every year. That's what the almanacs are for. Do you have like a head injury that prevents you from converting short-term to long-term like memory, or?
Basically, what we're trying to say in science, right? Real true science is something that you can do, right? An experiment in real life, observe and repeat and get the same results. You guys have not shown no proof, not one proof that we live on a spinning ball.
As moderator, I'm going to dispute that. The evidence that Robert showed clearly shows we live on a globe.
So you're telling me that picture from the plane, you guys observing, you think that's Curvature? That tells you right there we're on a ball.
Matches the globe predictions, and if you match a prediction according to science, you confirm the hypothesis. You just saying it's wrong. You just saying it's wrong doesn't make it wrong. We have evidence it's correct. You just saying it's wrong isn't evidence it's wrong.
And Michael, you haven't refuted a single thing that we've presented.
It
is an absolute fact that the navigation materials that pilots use have to be accurate or people die. The AE map, as you by your own admission, that the Tropic of Capricorn will be many, many times longer, which means that if Flat Earth was a reality, airplanes using my map, which is for the globe, would be crashing into the ocean all the time and never arriving at their destinations. But that's not reality.
Do you know the flight patterns that you're not driving around in a ball? You're driving you're flying from point A to point B.
You can pick any two destinations.
You know that, right?
You know
you're not.
Take this application
you can't fly a direct flight.
Map it for you.
There's no direct flight that's going from Africa, right, to South America.
Wrong.
There's no direct flights.
Wrong.
We've already tried.
That's another lie.
Yep.
No, it's
so,
not.
Greg, do you have two destinations in mind, and I'll map it for him?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
You are 100% wrong on that assertion.
No, because
either you're ignorant or you're a liar. One of the two.
I mean, here's the first flight that is 100% impossible on flat Earth, the Sydney to Santiago, Chile flight. This flight is 6,100 nautical miles on the globe. It would be probably about 18,000 miles on any flat Earth map, which would make it actually impossible for any modern airliner to fly, especially not nonstop over 12 hours.
You're saying there's no flights over 12 hours, but yeah, there is.
This flight exists.
But there is no nonstop.
You can book the ticket yourself.
We already tried. We tried. Trust me. Many of us.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, we have. Yes, we have.
Show me the airline ticket.
Okay. First of all, this was done
for them to actually been on the flight themselves and showed us the airplane stub, and they were on the flight, and we've seen that.
Oh, you're talking about the footage they show that they're going on an airplane, and then they can't show it while they're flying.
I'm sorry, but I don't accept it's fake as evidence.
No, I didn't say it's fake. I said there was no footage of on the flight. They turned the camera off.
Are you just claiming that anyone that says they've been on a flight from Africa to South America is a liar?
A direct flight is what we're saying.
I've literally just Googled it, and you can book one right now.
Australia?
From South Africa. From Sydney to Santiago,
Australia?
you can book it. Yeah.
From Australia to South America, we're talking about, right?
Yeah, Sydney to Santiago.
And you're saying that if I took that flight and I took a video camera and stuck it out the window and took 12 hours of water flowing underneath me, that you would call that evidence?
No, that's not what I said. I said your
So,
flight path that you believe you're flying in a straight path.
Of course, it's a straight path across the globe.
You're going from point A to point B. You're not going around a circle like the AE map.
Why would we not?
AE map, you got to draw a straight line. You're not going around the outside of the ball. That's what you're
Why
trying
not?
Well, because it's not a ball. The AE map is you're trying to project
is highly
the AE map
inaccurate and would be
globe.
impossible for the airline to actually fly that distance. It's impossible.
That's the whole point. Is there is no direct flights.
Yes, there are.
That's why.
Do you want to look at the screen? Do me a favor, look at the screen, and then tell me there is no direct flights between Australia and South America.
They present them, but you cannot book them. We've all tried. This is what we're trying to explain to you. Nobody's been on it.
It's
Come on, Craig. We'll pull up that credit card, get a first-class flight that you can cancel.
We've done it. Trust me, and then go do it and see what happens. You're gonna.
So you're saying no one has ever flown this actual flight that they are saying here? You're saying that they are lying?
What I'm saying is there's no direct flight. I'm not.
You
saying
can literally book it here right now.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody has proven that it's possible.
Not only that,
it's there to be booked right now.
You see it and they showed it doesn't mean they offer it. That doesn't mean anything.
Hang on.
Yeah, yes, right.
If I can come in here for just a quick moment. Michael, I just received word. They want to go ahead and issue you that challenge. So you make the claim that you cannot book this flight. So here's the deal. If you go ahead and book it yourself and it does go through, you can actually fly on this flight, then you have to eat the cost. However, if you are sure that you cannot book this flight, not only will you not have to pay for anything anyway, but I have somebody who will match the cost of the ticket for you, which is about a little over $1,000. So you can make $1,000 right now if you share your screen and go ahead and book this flight and show us that it cannot be done.
Listen, I didn't say that I couldn't. I said nobody's done it. Nobody.
No, then you can be the first. That's the point.
I've been asking. This is the point of this, right? I've been asking for evidence, right?
Now, this is where people are making sure that you can give you an opportunity to back up your assertion. You made the assertion that no one can book this flight, so you book the flight. If it goes through, then you eat the cost. But if it really can't be done, if it really can't go through, then you aren't going to pay anything, but you're actually going to make money as they will go ahead and match the cost of that for you.
Okay, so you're telling me what I should do when I'm the one asking. This hasn't been done.
I am asking.
You're the one that's
hang on. Absolutely, I am asking you to back up the assertion that you made. Absolutely, and I'll do it again.
Okay, understand completely. We'll have that discussion after. And what I'll
do it now.
No, because the whole point was to bring evidence of.
So just to be clear,
why we live on a flat Earth.
Using to make over $1,000 right now.
Any evidence of a ball Earth.
So what you're saying right here is you are refusing to make $1,000 right now. Because
no, I never said any of that.
Okay, so you're not confident in your position. Got it. Just want to make sure.
No, it's not. That's not it. You're being arrogant, and it's not. And the problem is this is why people don't waste their time with people who already have it figured out. You assume we already know where you stand. We know what you know because we've been there. I understand where you're coming from. I've had all the same questions. I've done all the same things. We know where you're at. So you're not explaining anything new to us. That's why we understand. Some people can't take it and understand where you guys are coming from, but I do. We know for a fact what we bring in science. You ask me I have one of hundreds, right? So I give you one. Well, I haven't got one of the globe, Earth. It shows that we live on the globe Earth. No
everything
science
Robert
whatsoever.
says that we live on the globe Earth, so you're lying again.
Everything he showed that. I explained it again, and I'm going to explain it slowly. When he went up higher to try to show the horizon, how does that show that we live on a globe?
Because it matches the globe prediction, and that's what science... Hold on, you asked the question, let me answer. Science works by you making a prediction and trying to verify that prediction. The predicted globe curvature that you should see was matched by what Robert did. That is actual science.
It matches on a flat plane.
It doesn't.
So how is that actual
You wouldn't
science?
see any curvature on a flat plane, you insufferable moron.
A moron? Are you calling names now? I was in your shoes too. I was brainwashed too. I get it.
No.
Calm
You're
down.
the
Relax.
indoctrinated,
What I'm trying to say
brainwashed
is,
one.
no, relax. What I'm trying to say is this. Relax. What I'm trying to say is this. The horizon is flat at 35,000 feet, 360 panoramic. It would not be possible if the radius, and I'm going to say it slowly, is at 3,958
Okay, that's an
miles.
assumption you've said. You need to provide evidence that is the case. You are making a claim. No, you're making a claim that we should see a particular thing. Hold on.
No, so that's not the radius of the Earth?
No one's disagreeing that that's the radius of the Earth, but you're making the claim that with that radius of the Earth, we should see this particular thing. So please back that up with evidence.
No, I am backing up with evidence.
No, you're not. You're just saying that's what we should see. That is not evidence.
No.
Yes.
What? No, what I'm trying to explain to you is if it was the correct distance.
That is the correct distance. That matches the prediction.
At that height, if you know math, at that height.
Yeah, the math shows that the prediction is correct.
So at 44,000 feet, your prediction was it showed that little bit of line that you think is a curve. That shows you proof. That's absolutely absurd.
You're saying that, but the math shows
that's your evidence of a ball Earth.
Hold on.
That you live on a spinning ball Earth.
Michael, hold on. The math of the radius that you have said says that is what we should see exactly. So it matches the prediction of the math. What don't you understand?
The math, right?
You don't understand the math. No, you don't understand the math. Please, somebody fucking clip that. Thank you. And what is the curvature formula that you are using? I'm assuming it's 8 inches per mile squared, right?
If we were using the Pythagoras theorem,
no, that's not Pythagoras' theorem. That's not Pythagoras' theorem. Pythagoras' theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. What you are saying is yes or no? Are you using the 8 inches per mile squared formula? Yes or no?
Pythagoras theorem.
No. Pythagoras' theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Are you using the formula 8 inches per mile squared? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right. Well, you know that only accounts for if you are at exactly like ground level. It doesn't take into account any height at all. And only works as a chord measurement, not a measurement of the drop. The correct formula that you are looking for is H equals R times 1 minus cos A. That is accurate at any distance on the globe and takes into account the observer height. So one quick question for you, Michael, right? If I've got a triangle and this triangle has sides of 1, 1, and 1, what are the internal angles?
60 degrees.
Oh my God, that's mind-blowing that you know that.
You got it right.
Yeah.
So
how can you know that?
We know all this
trigonometry. How can you know that but not know what Pythagoras' theorem is?
Listen, I've been leaving your boys on the edge, right? And they want all these answers. And I know you guys. Trust me, I know you know. Yeah, you're right. There is no edge. There's a wall.
No, there's no edge. Excuse me. That's another lie. I've been to Antarctica. There is no wall.
You've been to Arctic. Not Antarctica. Antarctica is the ice wall around the south.
I've been to the Antarctica. I've been to Antarctica during my time in the military on a submarine. There is no ice wall.
You've been to Antarctica, the ice wall.
Yes.
The southern.
You do know that there is a regatta where they race around Antarctica every year, right?
I'm not going to get into this with them.
Yes or no? Do you know that?
What was that? I'm sorry?
There's a regatta, a race with boats around Antarctica every year.
Antarctica, the center? Are you talking about as Antarctica as in the center?
No, the south.
The south.
What you are saying is the ice wall. There is actually a race around the continent every year, showing that it is not an ice wall because of the distance these people travel.
You are not going around Antarctica.
Again, the people doing it in the race every year would disagree with you.
Yep.
And again, I have been there.
That's
there is not an ice wall.
That's evidence of the ball.
Yeah. Is that it's evidence there isn't an ice wall, that's for sure.
Wow. Well, we're not here to prove that there's an ice wall right now.
You made the claim there is. I'm saying you're wrong.
No, I just said there's. You just said there's no edge, and I said you're right. There is no edge.
Yeah. Then you said there's an ice wall.
I said there's a wall because you need walls to contain water. We all know that water needs to be contained. That's natural.
But there is no wall. And again,
the physics of science,
excuse me. Which physics are you talking about exactly?
Natural, real science.
Yeah, no, there's no such thing as natural physics. Try again.
There's real physics is water, right? The characteristics of water.
Yeah, and water is affected by forces. As simple as that. The natural state of water is to form a sphere.
Water needs to be contained. That's a natural.
Yeah, and it's contained by gravity on Earth, so there's no issue there.
Yeah, again, the trigonometry. I mean, you're trying to stump me on angles, and we know all this. We've been through this in school. What I'm saying is, I don't believe in it.
You said Pythagoras' theorem, and you don't know what that is. Pythagoras' theorem is not 8 inches per mile squared. Pythagoras' theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared.
Squared equals c squared.
And that doesn't make 8 inches per mile squared.
No, what I'm trying to explain to you is this. It has to be based on trying. Right.
Back to you. I'm sorry.
All right, Craig, I'd love to ask him about. We've got about half an hour left till I got to go. I'd love to ask him about one more.
Yeah, sure.
So he hasn't brought me his own evidence, but I'd like to show him one more thing and get his opinion on it.
Yep.
And you're welcome to stay after, and Reds can show you some things that definitely prove the Earth is a globe.
Yeah.
No, I'm still waiting. I mean, you guys can't replicate a model of the spinning ball.
Do I need to bring up all my stuff now?
Maybe in a bit.
You have to be able to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, nowhere in science does it say you have to replicate Earth to say that Earth is true.
All right, not in those words.
You're lying again. Do not lie on my channel. Science does not say.
Right?
Science does not say you have to do an experiment to demonstrate that the Earth is a globe. That's not how science works.
I didn't say that. See,
and you don't have to replicate it at all.
I never said that. I said you have to.
You did.
Science is an experiment you do over and over again and get the same results.
No,
that's what science is.
That's not what science is. They're completely wrong.
All right, that's why your scientists are getting proven wrong throughout the years.
Science also doesn't prove
wrong.
things.
Einstein got proven wrong.
Einstein's never been proven wrong. In fact, he's been proven right this year already again. Robert, over to you.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to draw my screen again. Give me just a second here. Where did it go? I don't know why I keep losing the Google screen there. Just present. Get out of the way. My whole screen. So, Michael, do you know what an accelerometer is?
An accelerometer?
Yep.
Does it detect earthquakes or?
No, that's like a little more simple. I mean, all of our smartphones have accelerometers in them now. And so as you're holding your phone and you're rotating it, you're moving it, you're changing angles, it's constantly measuring the force of acceleration, so that he knows that you rotated your phone, so you can basically see go from landscape to portrait and vice versa.
Right.
So every single one of our smartphones has these built into it now. They're typically 3-axis, so you can basically see X, Y, and Z axes. And they work by, there's 2 different methods, but one of them is like a crystalline structure in the chip that can basically sense the accelerated forces. So I loaded up this application. I actually have a couple of them on there, and they all do the same thing. But my phone is essentially sitting flat on the desk right now, and it's showing 1 g of acceleration in the z-axis. So that the phone is sitting flat on its back. The z-axis is basically the back of the phone aiming towards the center of the Earth. And it's showing 1 g of acceleration right now. If I take the phone, I'm going to stand it upright. So now it's standing on the charging port. So sitting upright. That acceleration vector is now on the y and showing 1 g. And if I rotate it one more time, now I'm going to put the phone on its side. Now I've got 1 g of acceleration on the x. I'm not, now I'm moving the phone around now. I'm bouncing the phone up and down. But before it's just sitting flat on the desk. I'm not moving it. What is that accelerometer measuring?
Michael?
Sorry, guys, I lost you. He said, what is the accelerometer measuring?
Yeah, what's it measuring?
Hey, Robert.
Sorry,
Sorry, you're breaking up.
I'm going to ask you to be a broken record and repeat everything you just said. And
No,
again.
I would hate. No, I don't want to repeat.
No, I can do it. I'll do it quickly. So
No. We're not doing it for you, Michael. Robert, you're doing it for me.
Yeah. So the accelerometer is basically, it's measuring the accelerative force that the phone is sensing. Now, if I move the phone around, it's sensing me moving the phone. You're seeing the G values bounce all over the place. But if I lay the phone flat on the desk, it's showing 1 G of acceleration through the back of the phone towards the surface of the Earth. If I rotate the phone, now it's sitting on its side. I've got 1 G on the x-axis, which is to the side of the phone. And if I stand the phone up on its end, now I've got 1 G on the y-axis, which is going down to the bottom of the phone. Can you explain why the accelerometer in not only my phone, but every single smartphone out there right now, you can do it yourself, what is it?
So, Michael, what is it measuring? What is it measuring?
What's it measuring?
Well, there is...
Sorry, Michael, we lost you there. Do you want to say that again?
We observe this, right? We observe this because...
Sorry,
again,
Michael, you broke up there a sec. Just to clarify, did you say it's electromagnetism?
Sorry, yes, it's all done through magnetism.
Okay,
of course.
Do you know how accelerometers work?
What was that?
Do you know how accelerometers work?
No, I'm aware now that he explained it. What I was saying is what they're picking up, the movement. He's not picking up the movement of the Earth from the phone.
No, I'm not. I'm certainly not picking up the movement of the Earth. I'm picking up the force of gravity.
So you're saying he's picking up the force of gravity, and is that force pressing downward, or is it left to right? Is it east to west?
Right.
Or?
Yep. So right now the phone is laying on its back. So in the z-axis, which is going to the back of the phone towards the center of the Earth, I've got 1 G. I put the phone on its side. Now the x-axis, which is left and right to the phone, is going 1 G. And if I stand the phone up on end, now it's going to the bottom of the phone because y-axis is up and down on the phone. It's showing 1 G. If it was not magnetism, because if I'm not, just by me moving the phone around in a circle, I'm not changing the magnetism around the phone. So what is the accelerometer in the phone?
There is no force. I'm breaking up. I don't know what's going on with you guys.
We can hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm barely hearing you guys. I'm sorry.
Right. So
if you're on Wi-Fi, get closer to your modem. It sounds like you went outside.
I'm pretty sure he's driving.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to get out now. Yeah, so basically what I'm saying is there's no downward force needed that he's picking up from gravity because obviously the Earth isn't moving.
It has nothing to do with the Earth moving. This is purely what is the phone measuring?
That's what I'm saying. It's not measuring any force downward.
What is it measuring?
I believe the particles that in inertia, from inertia creating the particles and everything rotating east to west around Polaris. That's how everything works by electromagnetism.
So,
me, please repeat that.
That's how the system works. It's all through electricity. It all has to do with electricity and magnetism.
So
what we're saying is there's no force. There's no force.
So
downward. Right?
What I'm showing on the screen right now is the accelerometer that would be inside Robert's phone. It's called a MEMS and accelerometer, and it has silicon components, right, which wouldn't be affected by magnetism. And it literally detects a movement in mass by the connections being touched to each other. So there's no electromagnetism that could make this happen.
There's no electromagnetism that can make that happen.
No.
You're saying there's no force. The force has to be a gravity that it's picking up.
Well, that's exactly what it picks up.
That's what you're saying. The pressure, it's picking up a force that's pressing down.
Pulling it towards the center of the Earth. It's direct observation of that acceleration. Yes.
Yeah. One thing I like about this other application is you actually can tell it, hey, don't include gravity. So I'm turning off gravity.
Turning off gravity. I love
Well,
it.
you're basically telling the application to exempt it. So I clear it.
Right, I get it.
And basically,
It's a
it's all
mathematical equation.
zeros. So it's telling the application's making it
All
knows
algorithms.
which way it's down. It's telling it, hey, factor that out. I don't want to see that.
Algorithm.
Of course it is.
You get it. Algorithm.
Yeah.
We know how algorithms
We know the
work on
force of
math.
gravity.
That's what we're trying to explain to you is algorithms and math does not
represent reality
compute with reality.
They measure reality.
It does not.
They measure reality.
Not.
Yes, it
That's
is.
why you can't. And again, I say it. That's
why you have no idea how much curvature you
I
would
can
see
show a model of my
from
system
35,000 feet because you refuse to measure it and you model it out.
No, I'm sorry, but that's another direct lie you just said. You said you can show a mod. You just said you could show a working model with a flat Earth. There is no such thing as a working model with a flat Earth. Please don't lie on my channel.
It does. You observe it in your everyday life.
You don't have it.
You observe it in small and big forms. You're just not aware of it.
You can't even create a semi-accurate flat Earth map, Michael. Not even one that gets you within thousands of miles of accuracy in the southern hemisphere.
The map is exactly the same as the map that you guys project it from.
No, it's not.
This map
flat Earth map is
made
thousands of miles off in the southern hemisphere.
No, what I'm saying is again with science. You said you have to bring science. What you
I don't care about science. I'm talking about the reality of distance from point A to point B in the southern hemisphere. Your AE map is off by thousands of miles. Why?
It's not.
It is.
It is. It
100%
is. So
when you fly from Africa,
much easier to map distances on a flat Earth map if it was reality. It would be the simplest thing in the world to model. But you can't do it because it's not reality. There is no
what it is a reality.
It can actually be used to measure distances. None.
There's none.
None. Why is that?
Not any.
No, there is. There is. The reason
Show it to us.
There's no spinning ball working model that you can do.
Show us your accurate flat Earth map, Michael, that we can actually do measurements on.
Oh my God.
We showed you.
Michael, do you not know what a scientific? Hold on 1 second. 1 second, Michael. Could you please define to me what a scientific model is?
Excuse me?
Could you please define for me a scientific model?
Define it?
Yeah, please.
A model? Yeah.
A scientific model.
Would be,
what is a scientific model?
Yeah. So I say scientific because it would have to be a model that works and can create a habitat and create living organisms on it.
That's not what a model is. My God, man, that's not what a model is.
No, I'm asking you to present a working of your model. Like I'm saying, basically, your model of the globe. What we're trying to say is take that model, with your theory, which won't use model, and create and show me an example of this,
Michael,
spinning ball globe, right, with a living habitat living on it.
Michael wants to say something.
Moving at these ridiculous speeds. That's why I'm trying to explain.
Take a breath. Michael, take a breath. Reds would like to say something.
Yeah. Okay.
For the next 60 seconds, I'm going to assume, okay, you convinced me. The Earth is definitely not. The Earth is definitely not round, or there's gravity. It's all magnetism, and it's not spinning. Whatever. Let's go ahead and accept that. Let's accept all of it. In that case, I need to replace it with something. Do you have a map that I can replace it with that will render accurate results?
Yes, I believe. Okay, now when we say yes. When we say yes, we mean the closest to our abilities that we can come up with, right? The working maps.
So when you say yes, you don't mean yes.
No, I'm saying I'm implying for you guys as well. The map that you guys use is off of the AE map. This
it's
globe
not.
map. That's what we're trying to explain. Is this ancient civilization?
I don't care about ancient civilization. They didn't have the power of the internet. Please send me a map that I can use that will render accurate results.
What you're getting confused is you think that we're smarter now than we were then.
We are.
No,
That's
we're not.
We're smart enough where you can go on the internet right now, find my email address, and send me something. And what I would like you to do is send me a map that I can replace my defunct globe with.
The reason why we haven't succeeded is because of these theories that held us down. In the flood,
so
before the flood, we were.
That's all you had to say. That's all you had to say. All you had to say is, "Look, dude, I would love to provide you with a map, but I don't have one."
No, that's not what we're saying. That's not what I'm
one,
saying. I'll address it. We have a map that we're using. That's
doesn't.
our best of our knowledge, and your map is based off of our map. That
Then
we
it's
know
not,
is true. Yes, it is.
Send me a
That's what I'm
map.
trying to explain to you. Is we were before the flood, we were way more advanced than we are right now.
The
That's
flood
why
didn't happen,
you
but
guys can't
apart from
explain-
that, the Gleason's map, as I explained, the creator of the Gleason's map in his patent said it was based on the globe Earth with a circumference that we say it is, not on a flat Earth. So the Gleason's map, it's called an azimuthal equidistant projection map. Now listen, it's called an azimuthal equidistant projection map because it is a projection of the globe.
Yes.
That's
a false accusation. It's not a projection.
You're literally just in denial.
It's not the projection of a spherical oblate spheroid.
According to the person who came up with it, it absolutely is.
He did not say it was from
he absolutely did.
Spheroid.
He absolutely did within the patent for it. He even described.
He said globe. You know it was globe.
No, he even showed a picture of the globe and explained the dimensions and how it was based on it. So no, the Gleason said that it was based on the globe.
Our map
am I understanding this correctly? That the closest map that we have. Am I understanding this correctly? You're saying that you don't have a map, you just have one that is moderately close to being accurate, but not completely accurate.
What I said is all of us, right?
I'm not talking about all of us. Not about you. What do you have to offer?
Okay, you're not grasping it. What I'm saying is this: the map, right, that was given to all of us, right, it's the only map that's what we based on.
Oh, he's breaking up.
I think that made about as much sense as anything else he said, to be fair.
Was speaking this. Yeah, sorry, I'm not saying that we don't have an accurate map. I'm saying,
but you don't.
To our best of knowledge, the maps that we were given is as accurate as possible.
But they're not.
From our knowledge, right?
And which map are those? Which maps are as accurate as possible by your own words?
Michael, my maps that I was showing you earlier are accurate down to the centimeter level. It's the centimeter.
Yeah.
Yes, and I said that works, and it's exactly the same map.
But you just admitted yours aren't that accurate. So how can they be the same if you admitted yours aren't accurate?
No, that's what I'm trying to say. It's the same exact measurements. That's why the equator, the Capricorn, and the Tropic of Cancer meet at the same central points as the points on you call a globe, which is spheroid. An oblate spheroid.
The issue that we're running into, Michael, is the distances between those points. They're not the same between two maps.
No, they are. What you don't understand is the distance those squares are. That if you're thinking the outer rim to the south, with the Antarctica is on that map. You're thinking it's each one of those squares. You're thinking of it as they're bigger, so the distance would be longer. Right?
That's a great point, Michael. So let me clarify what you just said there.
So the sun would have to travel.
Hang on, one second. Let me ask you a question. Hang on.
I think I understand this. Are you saying that literally the concept of distance itself stretches the further south you go?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So Michael, hang on, Michael. Let me ask. So you're saying that small, say 1 centimeter square in the northern hemisphere close to the North Pole is the same as that 3 centimeter square, same distance as a 3 centimeter square down in the southern hemisphere?
No, that's not
what I'm saying. So why is everything in the southern hemisphere stretched out from left to right from what we know in reality?
It's north to south. The squares, you're saying the squares are stretched out wider. So you're saying the area is longer than it is.
Exactly. So east, north to south, and even according to Gleason, north to south is accurate for distance. But east to west, we know that, for example, Australia is not 4 times wider than it is tall. You can go look up the circumference and the dimensions of Australia.
Right. I know.
Unless you think they're lying, but Australia is closer to.
That's what they are lying though about the areas of our continents.
People living in Australia are lying that it takes them 4 days longer to drive east to west than it does north to south.
No,
People in Australia are lying.
No, I'm not saying that. And again, I'm not implying that. You're saying I am, but what I was trying to say.
That's what you just said, though.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is the areas are wrong on your map
the word
in the
lie.
first place.
But
You use the word lie. You can't say you're not calling anyone a liar when in your previous description of what the hell is going on, you use the word lie to describe what's going on, i.e. a conspiracy. So yes,
Michael,
what I'm saying is the United States isn't as big as it's projected to be on your map.
It most definitely is.
Africa is much bigger. Yeah,
Michael, Australia
map's not right
either. Michael, Australia is 3,860 kilometers long and 4,000 kilometers wide.
Right.
That's almost square. That is not what your AE map's showing.
So I'd just like to read you an excerpt from the patent that Alexander Gleason put in for this map. And in it he wrote, the extortion of the map from that of a globe consists mainly in the straightening out of the meridian lines, allowing each to retain their original value from Greenwich, the equator, to the 2 poles.
South. It's further away.
So,
Sorry, what we were saying is your map. You were trying to say you had a correct map.
We do. It's called
the map was based off of our map. It wasn't based on a spinning ball Earth.
I'm literally showing you evidence to the contrary right now.
Nobody believed they lived on a spinning ball Earth, a heliocentric model, until the 1500s. That's what we're trying to make clear.
I mean, that's completely wrong.
I don't know how you can say it's completely wrong.
Because it is. Well, it's easy. When something's wrong, I can say it's completely wrong.
Has never shown that. They've never shown that.
Can you please show evidence that the only time the heliocentric model was ever thought to be true was the 1500s?
Yes, from all the models that were given to us from ancient civilization, nobody showed a spherical
Please present me evidence that the 1500s was the first time that the heliocentric model was thought of as correct.
It wasn't the first time introduced. Copernicus introduced it. We know that. What I'm trying to say is, in Aristotle, with his telescope, he was able to look at the circles in the sky and thought he lived on a ball Earth. That was when it was first introduced. That's what his theory was. Right? He looked in the sky and he saw circles. He thought they were spheres.
Yeah, Michael, one sec. Reds, over to you.
Okay, I'm getting kind of tired of hearing this argument, so let me just destroy it real quick. It doesn't matter how old a theory is. What matters is, does it comport with reality? If I discovered that the Earth was around 5 minutes ago and it turned out to make everything fucking work, then it would be the most accurate theory to go with. It doesn't matter how old the theory is. What matters is, does it work?
That's my point. Is you were only given one.
So who cares how old something is? Who cares when the globe was discovered? The fact is that we have it now. It works. It comports with reality. So what's the deal? Why bring up the age of it? It's irrelevant.
But how is it reality that when you go outside, you know the Earth's not moving and that the sun and stars are moving above you?
BS. I know. Keyword.
You know why? Because there's no experiment that you can do.
You can say there's no way. You're allowed to be wrong on your own.
I'm going to explain it right now.
My only point here is this. The age of something is irrelevant.
He's talking over because he knows he's wrong. There's no experiment you can do.
Something is irrelevant.
There's no. Okay, you don't have the Earth's movement with your senses. You don't sense them, right? And then on top of that, there's no experiment.
There's no experiment. Ring laser gyro, please, that a flat earther was able to use and confirmed that the Earth was spinning at 15 degrees per hour?
Yeah.
Do you want me to talk about?
Why do you do that, Michael? Michael,
yeah, you already did. Listen,
Michael,
you already said that earlier.
Michael, hold on.
Michael, I'm going to address it.
Michael,
I'm going to address it.
Michael,
you already said it earlier.
Michael, I'm talking
in your
about something
statement.
completely different.
In today's
So,
21st century,
Michael, I don't care if you're flying on a Boeing 747 going 500 miles per hour or a Concorde going Mach 2. Are you saying if you're flying along in smooth air,
here we go,
you feel that you're going 2,000 miles an hour?
When I'm in an airplane, I feel I'm moving. Yes.
No, you feel changes in velocity when you get turbulence. You are not feeling that you're going 500 miles an hour unless you're plastered against the back of the bulkhead.
No, my senses and awareness are pretty high. I sense when I'm moving. And
you're feeling the turbulence and the airplane bouncing in the air. You are not feeling that you're going 500 miles per hour.
The point is, you know when you're moving. Your body knows, right?
No, it doesn't
tell you.
No, you don't.
The only thing
you know when you're accelerating.
You're moving, that's what I'm trying to say.
Your body can only sense changes in velocity.
Listen, you're jumping around. You went from talking about the 15 degrees in movement of the gyroscope. Then you went from flying in an airplane at you won't feel this, and then you went from you're just jumping around. What I explained and I asked, all I did is ask about the model is show me a working model, right? And then when I said
we've got a working model. Thanks.
All right, I know, I understand that. I understand. All right, and then science. I said with science, right? What we observe in reality is, and this is what we observe, that the Earth is not moving, right? This is all I'm saying, right?
No, that's what
science observes it's moving.
You suppose that's incorrect.
Okay.
That's not reality.
So, but you're, listen to me. If you're not going outside and observing that the Earth is still. And
it's quite clear when I go outside and look at the sky, the Earth isn't still.
The Earth is still.
It's not.
Right?
The Earth is not still.
Okay,
it's been measured to be moving.
Okay.
It's literally been measured to be moving.
Can I ask you, if the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles,
it doesn't spin at 1,000 miles an hour.
At the equator.
That's a tangential velocity, not a spinning. You don't measure rotational velocity in miles per hour. You measure it in RPM or radians or degrees.
AU. Yeah. Yes, I understand. So how fast are we spinning at the equator?
15 degrees per hour.
Question.
What was that?
15 degrees per hour.
I'm asking the question.
Yeah,
I'm asking the question.
At the equator, we are spinning 15 degrees per hour.
15 degrees per hour, and what speed is that?
15 degrees per hour. 0.000694 RPM.
And how did you calculate?
Half the speed of an hour hand.
Yes.
How did you calculate that?
It's been measured. I didn't need to calculate it. It's been measured.
And you're going to say from the gyroscope.
Platform with a chair on it, Michael, and I sit you in that chair, and that chair is rotating twice as slow as the hour hand of a clock to half the speed. Would you actually feel that?
Listen,
the answer is no. The answer is no. You would not feel that. Correct?
No, but you're not. You didn't answer all my questions.
No,
I asked how fast you're moving at the equator. I'm not even done.
You answered the question the entire time. I would like an actual response from you.
No, listen. Let me explain. I asked you, right, what the speed around the equator was. When I said it, you said no, it was 15 degrees. I said, okay. You said we tested it. I said, how do we test it? With a gyroscope, right? We picked it up. What you did pick up is not the spin of the Earth at 15 degrees.
What did it pick up then?
What you picked up, okay, we're going to explain. I explained to you how electromagnetism works.
Gyroscope. I'll stop you right there. I'll stop you right there. Gyroscopes use light. Wait, hold on. Gyroscopes use light. The fiber optic gyroscopes, they use light, and light is not affected by electromagnetism as it has zero charge.
Yes, we know that. It has nothing to do with light, right?
But the gyroscopes are light. That's how they measure rotation with light.
Atoms and particles are?
No. The gyroscopes use light to measure rotation.
Right.
Freaking laser.
No, the gyroscope, is rigid in space, and it doesn't measure rotation.
We're talking about ring laser gyroscopes.
Okay,
fiber optic gyroscopes.
Okay, all right. A ring laser gyroscope is totally different than a gyroscope.
No, it's not. They both measure the same thing.
No, one's rigid in space. No, what? No,
they both measure rotation. They both measure physical movement.
They measure the same thing, right? They measure that it's flat.
And physical gyroscopes with enough lubrication also measure a 15 degree per hour drift.
Yes, the particles, right? In the sun, you know how the sun stars rotate above you around the center star, which we observe? Because I'm not lying about that. We observe it, and that's what we see. And I'm also not lying because I say, right?
Yeah,
when
that's
we go
not
outside,
how electromagnetism works.
Your senses, you observe that you're not moving, right?
That's not how electromagnetism works. Sorry, you're wrong.
So it doesn't rotate particles in the air.
No, the Earth's magnetic field.
There is no magnetic field rotating around the center, creating inertia at the center.
Absolutely not.
That's what we detect. What do you, are we?
No, we
that's
don't
how
detect that at all,
electromagnetism
ever.
works. Yes, it does. That's
Please
exactly what it
present
is,
evidence
because
that that's what we
gyroscopes
detect.
don't pick up gravity.
No one ever said they picked up gravity. They pick up movement. Now, a ring laser gyroscope
pick up
or a fiber
movement in
optic,
the air. That's how you
a
feel
fiber
wind.
optic gyroscope
That's-
or a ring laser gyroscope is a self-contained
Yes.
system using a beam of light to measure movement.
Right.
So, how is that affected by a
movement
magnetic
over a
field?
flat plane, not
No. It's moving on the ground. You put it on the ground. You don't move it. You put it on the ground, and it measures a 15 degree per hour drift.
Yes, we explained that. It's the movement of the atoms and particles in the air through electromagnetism rotating around the center.
No. Again, this is a
star,
self-contained
creating inertia.
This
That's
is
how that works.
No,
they projected a flat map, right?
This
and
is
how
a
magnetism works,
Michael.
and they
Stop.
made it
Michael,
like
shut
there's a
up.
magnetic
Michael.
field around a ball.
Michael,
There's no magnetic
Michael,
field around a
call
ball.
I'm gonna have to mute you if you don't stop. Right?
Okay.
You are wrong. Ring laser gyroscopes.
I guess I'm wrong because you said so.
No. Because of how ring laser gyroscopes work, they use the
I
Sagnac
explained
effect.
you're not wrong. You're picking up not the ground's movement.
No, it can't
there's
detect
no
any.
experiment you
It
could do.
can't detect anything else other than the movement of what it is physically attached to. It cannot detect movements of particles around it. There is no way that can happen. It is a self-contained, vacuum-sealed laser bouncing around.
It's vacuum sealed.
Bouncing
Yeah, okay.
around a
Vacuum sealed in
predetermined.
our air. Okay.
Bouncing around a predetermined path, and when you
Vacuum
measure
sealed,
the
no.
divergence, you can measure a rotation. It cannot be affected by anything apart from the movement of what it is physically attached to.
A laser gyroscope is not picking up 15 degrees movement of the Earth.
But it can't pick up anything else, though. It can't pick up anything else, though. It can't pick up anything else, though.
There's no experiment you can do.
The ring laser gyroscope is a pretty good experiment.
Detects the Earth's movement.
Yes,
let
you
alone
can.
You guys
I can show you one right now.
A working
I can show you one
model,
right now.
not
Don't
model,
lie to me. I can show you right now.
of a spinning ball Earth with a habitat on it.
Yeah, that's not how
With
science
water
works. No one needs to do that.
With water sticking to it.
No one needs
from
to
every
do
direction.
that. You're a liar.
But why would nobody need to do that? Because you would have
Because
to
that's
replicate
not
it as science.
No, that's not science.
But that's reality.
No,
what we
no,
observe,
that's not how science works.
When you contain water,
when you
water
say
needs to be
science, you
contained.
don't know what you mean. That's
Water
not
needs
how
to
science
be
works.
contained.
Gravity
That's science.
gravity is a container. Right.
No, gravity is not a container.
Yes,
gravity is a made-up
container.
force.
No, gravity is a
First of all,
container.
Stop
lying. Stop lying. Stop lying.
Well,
Right.
you want me to explain something to you real quick? I'll explain it to you.
You asked me for an experiment that measures the Earth's rotation. Well, here is one.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You literally
I said
just
there
fucking
is
did.
none.
Well, I'm proving you wrong right now. This guy is called the gentleman physicist, and he did an experiment to measure the Earth's rotation.
I know many physicists that say there's no experiments of the Earth.
No,
we know.
there's none that say that.
Find me one. Find me one that is willing to verify their credentials, and I will pay you $1,000.
Yeah. So, if the Earth is rotating, there will be effects. One of these effects will be the Coriolis effect, which will make a deflection.
That's debunked. You can't. There's no Coriolis
don't
effect.
interrupt. Don't interrupt. One of these effects will be the Coriolis effect, which will cause a deflection of a moving object. Okay. Now, this guy used a pendulum to measure that effect. If the Earth is rotating at his latitude on Earth, that pendulum should drift a certain amount over a certain amount of time. He made a prediction, made a pendulum, which isn't made of metal and affected by magnetism, etc. And the pendulum confirmed by this measurement, by the fact that it drifted this much, that he was on the location that he actually is on Earth. So all they did was they measured the angle that it came up with.
I know what they did. I know.
They measured the angle.
They're telling me everything we already know. I know all this. This is why I don't believe in. I live on a spinning ball.
You don't know what you
know that, right?
Okay, tell me how they did the maths then.
Well, first of all, they've
How
had
did they
to set
do
it
the
in
maths?
motion.
No, they
Can I
didn't.
explain it to you? Relax. I
No,
already been where you've been.
No.
I've been there. I thought I lived on a spinning ball too.
It doesn't matter.
I'm trying to explain
Of course,
this.
you have to set it in motion because
it had to be set in motion.
Yes, of course
right?
it does, because a moving object is what the Coriolis force is applied to. So of course
there
it
is
has
no
to
such
be in
thing as
motion.
personal. There's no such thing as Coriolis, right?
There absolutely
and
is.
we
This
can prove
demonstrated
that.
it right now.
And we can prove that with many things.
No, you're
we
wrong.
Can prove it.
No, you're wrong.
With how?
No, you're wrong.
Okay. Hey, you just say you're wrong all the time.
Yeah, because I'm demonstrating to you that you're wrong right now. I'm literally demonstrating that you're wrong right now.
First of all, no, we're gonna keep explaining how. Right now, you keep
a pendulum has to be set in motion. That is the point of a pendulum. That is not a debunk of how a pendulum works.
Wait a second. No, it has to debunk that the Earth's not moving. Is what it has to. It has nothing to do with how a pendulum works.
Pendulum shouldn't
we know
start
how
swinging on
pendulums
its own.
work. but it was set in motion.
Yeah, of course,
right?
because that's how pendulums
So let me
work.
explain. Can you relax? I know you're
I'm not going to let you lie.
This is new stuff for you.
No,
I
it's
know.
not. I've
I've
heard the argument every single time.
For instance,
I want you to debunk the maths.
I'm explaining.
I want you to debunk the maths.
No wonder
debunk the maths or shut up. Debunk the math or shut up.
I'm debunking you right now.
No,
Everything you
debunk
say
the
is
maths.
debunked.
You said you know how to do it, so first.
I just told you. You don't want to show math. This is your problem, right?
No, wait, stop. You said you know how to do this experiment, so explain the math behind it. Or you're a liar.
Listen to this guy, math behind it. I love it. No, what I'm explaining to you.
So you're a liar. Cool, no worries. Big liar. Thank you.
The experiment doesn't show the Earth's movement because you have to set it in motion. It doesn't go in motion by itself.
It's not supposed to go. There's nothing about the Earth rotating that says a pendulum should go in motion on its own. That is incorrect physics.
It's wild how I can prove and have a working system model.
You can't have
Okay, let me jump back in again real fast.
Yeah, sorry, Robert, go on.
So, Michael, what's been clear throughout this whole thing is, Michael, my turn. It's been clear throughout this whole thing that all you've had this entire debate is words. Not a single time have you presented an experiment you've done, an observation you've done.
I'm showing you.
Absolutely
What do you
nothing.
mean? I'm telling you right now. I just showed you.
Michael, quiet.
Okay.
You showed you actual experiments, actual observations, things that you can go out and do yourself. You've not shown us a single thing that you've gone out and validate besides watching YouTube videos.
That's exactly what it is, Robert. Robert, your whole reality is coming to a crash soon.
No, my reality.
You can see it. I know where you're standing. I've been where you were. I get it. I was like that too, and I still couldn't find it. I'm trying to find it to this day.
So tell us, Michael, what drugs did you start taking that kind of brought you out of your shell?
There's no experiment that makes you move. No, because I have awareness. I have a high awareness.
The chemical imbalance of your brain.
Yeah,
obviously corrupted you.
Calling names.
More reality.
I mean, knowing math and trigonometry. We just showed you how we. I just showed you basic.
So you showed us nothing.
No.
This is about the worst.
I showed you nothing.
I didn't expect anything from you because we've seen what you presented inside of Facebook. But I was hoping you would actually come with some observations, some actual measurement you did.
No, I have so much more. It's not even funny. I have so much more. Yeah, nothing. You just said science. I have to bring math to show how this pendulum moves when it has to be set in motion. Okay, gravity, right? You know why you don't need a force going downward? Right? Why? Because the Earth isn't moving. And now guess what? The reason why you say that it needs a force to come down.
This is going to hurt my brain, isn't it?
The reason why you say that you need gravity needs a force to push something down. Well, first of all, it needs to be put in place in the air for it to come down. So
Michael, do you believe that a force is required for anything to move?
I love this. This is the same.
Do you? No, answer the question.
You didn't hear anything I just told you. Did you just hear anything I just said?
You started to talk about
force to move that rock.
Yeah.
You're already asking me a question. You're already asking me a question when I was.
You're showing your ignorance of anything physics right now, Michael.
I just told you for something to fall in the sky has to be put in place. What just magically appears in the sky besides clouds?
Meteorites.
Name something. Meteorites? There's no such thing as meteorites, first of all.
I've seen one personally.
Oh, so your geysers that you find the holes in the ground? There's no meteorites.
No, I've literally seen meteorites coming from the sky.
I have a video of
meteorites. You see lights in the sky. You see lights in the sky.
Meteorites aren't real.
Stars
that are burning and tumbling and falling apart at the meteorite.
I think we have a lot more worried about if there's asteroids and meteorites going to hit us in astrofields and all this.
This is why we have an atmosphere.
We're worried about
stuff
on Earth.
Yeah, there's a couple of things you want to thank for that. You want to thank the atmosphere and you want to thank Jupiter for sucking up all the shit in the solar system so it doesn't hit us.
No, that's nothing to do. There's no galaxy with all these planets and meteorites and asteroids. They just
so Michael, I was hoping you were going to try to explain there. So if I throw a rock up in the sky, what makes that rock fall back down again?
The weight. But how did it get in the sky?
But
what force is causing that rock to fall back down again?
How did it get in the sky?
Dude, what the hell is with this nonsense over here? How it got up there has nothing to do with why it falls down.
Well, yeah, because no, it does. Listen, this is good.
Michael,
I know this is going to hurt you. This is going to hurt you.
That rock went up in the sky because I used a force of my arm and my muscles to propel it upwards. What makes it come back down again?
Yes, the weight of it comes back down.
No, that's no weight. Weight is not a force. Weight is a property.
It doesn't. I know it's
like
not.
density is property.
Michael, I know this is new stuff for you. It's okay. It's okay. People, where you were when I was
Michael, do you need us to hold your hand? Is it okay?
So let's look at it again. Since weight is not a force, what makes it come down?
Okay, so guess what? We know that, but guess what? Something that weighs more than air doesn't need the force to come down because it was never up there in the first place.
Weight is not a force.
It was never up there in the first place.
You're correct.
You understand that? You had to force it to go up there. There is no force coming down because we're not moving.
Not a force. Why?
The weight of it weighs more than air, so it falls down to the ground. It's common sense. The reason why you need a force is because you're trying to explain how you hold to outside of a ball.
My friend,
you're not sticking to an outside of a ball.
What makes the rock fall down?
You're not sticking to an outside of a spinning ball.
You get chicken nuggets.
Guess what? You didn't ask the question is, how did that get there in the air in the first place? Oh, it needed a force. But it doesn't need a force to go down because it was forced to go up. It only needs its weight to come back down. That makes sense.
Why does the rock fall down?
You can tell you guys are.
Could you define the weight for me?
This is exactly why we don't believe in the spinning ball. It's just people aren't aware of a lot of things, and they don't have the right principle. I think you need a force for something to come back down.
Michael,
so no nuggets for you.
Like I've got a simple question for you. Hold on, Michael. Michael, there's a simple question for you, and this is a yes or no question. Does F equal ma?
What's that?
Does F equal ma? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so what?
And when it comes to your math, yeah.
Listen, right? You just agreed that F equals ma. So if there's a rock in the sky, what is the acceleration? Where is the acceleration?
Math isn't wrong. It's the math isn't wrong. Is what I'm trying to explain. What I'm trying to say is the reality.
The math takes into account gravity, dude. The math takes into account gravity.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does. Fucking does.
You have to do that because you guys want to accumulate a force of why it's coming down. It doesn't need a force, is what we're trying to explain to you because it was never in the air in the first place. So you're saying F doesn't equal ma then?
The
reason why it was never in the air is because it was too heavy to be in the air. Do you understand that?
Reality. You can't just explain that away by saying nuh-uh.
Michael.
I didn't say bro. I said the reason why I don't need a force. No, I said the reason.
I know Robert doesn't. Michael, hold on.
The reason why I think an object doesn't need a force to come back down because it was never in the air in the first place.
But if I throw a rock in the air, Michael, so I've done it.
It was forced in the air.
Throwing a rock in the air.
The reason why the air. Okay, the reason why the rock's not in the air in the first place is because it was too heavy to be in the air.
The rock is in the air, Michael.
You don't understand that?
Michael, I threw the rock in the air. Why is it going back down again?
I explained it because it's heavier than air.
No, you didn't.
Yes, it's heavier than air.
It takes a force to throw the rock up in the air. It takes a force for the rock to fall down. What is that?
It does not.
All right, let's try even more basic. Let's try even more basic one.
You guys are caught. You guys are caught.
Michael,
it's over.
No, you're caught.
Over.
What keeps the air? What keeps the air attached?
What?
What keeps the air?
We live in an enclosed system, buddy.
Are you saying that there's a dome?
We live in an enclosed system.
Are you saying
like a greenhouse?
Why is the air pressure lower at higher altitude?
Degenerates don't listen. The greenhouses, right, are examples of what
you are saying that there's a dome. Okay, I'm just going to assume you mean that there's a dome in the sky. You do realize that's bullshit, right? And we can prove that?
Oh, man, these kids. Listen, I just said to you, right?
I think I might be older than you. Don't call me a kid.
Michael, if we're inside of an enclosure...
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you're older. Michael, it doesn't mean anything.
Michael, if we're in an enclosure, why does air pressure decrease with altitude?
Because the pressure, right?
Hang on, let's let Michael answer, please.
Yep, go Michael.
The pressure, right?
Yep.
Stronger down near the bottom of the ground. There's a negative and positive charge. Because there's a negative and positive charges. It has to do with electricity. You got so stuck in math and don't know reality that everything has to do with electricity and magnetism.
I love saying this one. If I take a tire and I blow it up, you
ever play tetherball? You ever play tetherball?
Is the same all the way across, or is it different? If we're in a container, Michael, answer the question.
Yes, we are in a container.
We go
Okay.
from 14.7
Because water
pounds
has
per
to be
square inch
contained.
of air at sea level, and as you climb up, and I can bring up the tables for you. As you climb up, you eventually get to a vacuum. If what you guys say that we're in a container and pressure always equalizes across the container, why do we go from 14.7 14.7 psi to 0 inside of a container? If that's what you claim.
That's what I claim. What I claim is this.
You can't explain it. We go from sea level pressure to 0, and you're claiming electromagnetism. No, that's not an answer. That's a fallacy and excuse.
No, it's not, because we can. No,
You can't
we can scientifically
it and
prove
test
this.
it, Michael.
No, you can't.
It's a Tesla coil. We know it's a Tesla coil.
You can't make an air compressor out of just magnets. It doesn't work like that.
What? Oh my God.
If you're saying that air pressure is due to magnetism, then I should be able to make an air compressor out of just magnets. It doesn't work like that.
Oh, it doesn't, huh?
No.
So the tides are.
Which means
It doesn't work like
hypothesis is
that.
bullshit.
It doesn't work like that. It does work like that because
No, it doesn't.
magnetism is what
No,
explains
it
it.
Hang on, guys. Let's
Yes, you could press water with the tides. It's through, because salt water, right, is a conductor. And the reason why the tides, and the reason
Michael,
why,
do you realize that the Great Lakes, which are freshwater lakes, have tides?
yeah, they have tides. They explain that.
They're freshwater lakes. They're not saltwater.
The freshwater lakes. Where are they at though? Where are they located? At
In
the
Virginia,
center.
Michigan.
At the center.
Chicago,
Where are they
Michigan.
located? Where are they located? It's exactly why we can explain why there's wind. And
They're not saltwater.
So I just want to
We didn't
be
say
clear
it
on one
had to
thing.
be.
You
We
claim
didn't
to
say
be
Yes, you did. You just said that the tides happen because of the salt in the oceans. And so that's why electromagnetism move it. But the freshwater lakes have tides, and there's no salt in them.
Yeah, it's because they're at the center. I explained
All
it.
right, I'm calling
It doesn't mean it doesn't have to have salt.
Michael, what does that mean? They're in the center.
Well, for instance, we can put the center of Flerfs, the center of our map. That's
What does that have to
the
do
Great
with
Lakes.
tides in a freshwater lake, Michael?
Because inertia and all magnetism is spinning at the center of the Earth. Everything changes. The tides, everything is exactly right.
Michael, that makes absolutely no sense. Can you rephrase that to something that even a high schooler could understand?
Right. So, for instance, we can take a straw, right, and put it in a bowl of water, all right, and you have magnets on it. I can get a magnet
for you, I imagine.
Right, and go against it and make it move.
Go against what?
Through magnetism.
Go against what?
Water is dielectric. I mean, it doesn't make. I mean,
Diamagnetic,
I'm not understanding. You don't know that? I mean, it's dielectric. So.
No, it's oh my God.
I'm calling it right now. I'm going to actually break out the gavel. I'm calling it ho, ho, ho. I'm calling it right now.
Well, I have a question that will kind of go towards answering that. So you say you own a solar power company, and you claim that maths isn't important. How do you calculate voltages?
I never said maths wasn't important.
Well, you said it doesn't match reality.
That? You guys just throw words in people's mouths. I never said that.
You literally said that maths doesn't match reality.
I just said
those are your exact words.
No, I said in reality, right? The reason why we don't need a force coming down to hold us down is because objects, right, need to be put in place in the air for them. They don't need a force to come back down. They need a force to go up.
So you say F doesn't equal MA. Cool.
Do you understand that? Did you ever think about that? How did it get in the air? They needed a force. Well, but how is it? How come it's not seen up there? Well, why? Because it wasn't there in the first place. It wasn't that. No, it wasn't there in the first place because it was too heavy. It's not because of gravity. How can rise against gravity?
Flat Earther videos that you have to watch to pretend to be this dumb? I'm curious.
No, the thing is this was when I discovered this. This was in 2011. I believe this is before they even had flat Earth videos. This is before. This is like, I don't know. Before, I guess you said Nathan Thompson and them. You mentioned names that you're thanking for the site, but this was before that. I discovered it in a book that was given to me, and this
what was that book, Michael?
Well, one of them
I'm
was
dumb as fuck.
100 Proofs the Earth's Not Flat. That was like one of them.
Today?
Yeah, and there's
Well, no,
200. The book's
that was
actually
one
called
of them
200
later
proofs.
on.
It's actually called 200 proofs, and I've debunked all 200. So
Yep.
No, we've been over those, and I'm going over them now with them, and you're not debunking them. You're
I've
just
debunked
saying
all of them.
you are.
Every single one's been debunked, Michael, easily, and most of them are duplicates, by the way.
oh, hey, Heretic
And
Zombie!
honestly-
Shout out to Heretic Zombie in the chat. He's known me longer than most of you. He's an awesome guy.
I know you guys don't obviously believe like the Bible obviously as well, and ancient books like Quran or any of those.
They're not scientific books; they're stories.
And also, I can prove
And
that the
they're laws.
Bible's wrong about things right now.
so-
The sun never stopped in the sky, and pi isn't 3.
And Michael, and one thing, and this is kind of a change in topic, but I'm really curious, given that you own a solar company, how is solar power generated? Like, what's the science behind solar power?
Mostly it's just taking the energy from the sun and
No,
absorbing
but
it
specifically, how does a solar
Fuck
panel create energy?
by absorbing the sun's light.
The light, you need to be more specific. You're an expert on this, Michael. You own a company that does solar panels. How does the silicon kind of substrates in the solar panels, how do they convert sunlight to energy? What are they absorbing from the sun to make energy?
Oh man, I just explained it.
You own a solar power company. This should be easy for you.
I just explained it.
No, you didn't. You said the sunlight, your sun creates energy. No, I want to know specifics. What from the sun?
No, I said,
What from the sun is hitting that solar panel? What reaction is it taking from the sun to create energy? I really want to know. You're an expert in this. You don't know, do you? Or you do know, and you know you can't answer because you know the answer is not going to go very well for you.
no, I explained it.
You did not.
It has nothing. Yes, it has to do.
All right, poll
So,
for the
burning sunlight.
Everybody in the audience is like crickets. Push button.
So,
No,
do me
don't
a favor.
know.
Could you explain the construction of a photovoltaic cell for me, please?
We're saying photovoltaic. Okay, now I explain it to you. Photovoltaic is transmitting light into energy. That's all it is. You're taking the sun's light and you're creating
really not.
energy.
What
I
from
don't
the light?
understand.
What
How
is that
else
light,
explain it?
Michael?
Yeah.
How else do I
What's a
This is
photo?
not a difficult
The
question.
UV light. You want to
What-
explain details?
What type
I
of
just
material?
broke it.
What type of material is a photovoltaic cell made up of?
What do you mean? What kind of materials are they made of?
I mean, what kind of material is it made up of? It's quite a simple question. Please explain the construction of one to me.
So now,
Basically.
right? What?
Explain a photovoltaic cell basically to me, like a 3-year-old could understand.
Like how exactly what I said? I don't know how.
No,
easily they-
describe how it's constructed.
So, Michael, let me clear. Hang on, Craig. Michael, let me clarify. Is it photons from the sun? Is it protons, electrons? What's coming from the sun? Excuse me. That create the energy.
The light.
No, Michael.
Like,
I know you did. I know you didn't fail science this badly. If you're an expert in solar panels, are they protons, electrons? It's not just light. Oh my goodness, you can't be this stupid. I know you're smarter in this, and you're basically being a pro.
No, my point is I'm trying to.
So Michael,
prove,
what happens
right?
when?
I'm thinking about the globe, the Earth, right, and how we're.
Yeah, no. One sec. Before you
Now you asked me a simple question, and
before you change the subject. So when the light reaches the solar panel, what happens specifically?
Okay, sorry, I'm done. All right, I have to. Sorry, I'm
Oh, so we're asking you questions about something you're supposed to be an expert on. You want to run away?
Yes, because he knows he can't answer because it'll destroy his premise.
No, it doesn't destroy. It has nothing to destroy in the flat Earth.
Answer the question.
I told you the sunlight energy, right, comes from the sun.
What is out of that sunlight?
Absolute pleasure.
You
Thank
can't
you
say
so much for
sunlight.
being here.
Radiation and heat.
There are
right,
comes
from
from
the
Yeah.
sun.
sunlight.
Are you off, Reds?
No. I'm saying, Michael, to have a good night.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Also, sorry, guys. Yeah. All I was saying is, it's the sunlight is composed of spectrum rays, right? The UV light is detected.
Sunlight, UV light. What? You don't know how solar panels work.
What's that?
That's amazing.
UV infrared light. What were we talking about? The wavelengths from the light travels electromagnetism to the panels and absorbs the
Oh
light.
my god,
This is hilarious.
he's totally pulling us now.
Yeah.
Did they Poe like 5 minutes ago? Yeah.
Michael, I'm going to give you a multiple choice question here. Are photovoltaic cells made up of slices of silicon, lead, or gold?
Oh, I'll be back. Yep. 1 second. You hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
we hear you.
Michael, are photovoltaic cells made up of slices of silicon, lead, or gold?
Can't hear anything you're saying, guys. Can you hear me?
I'm sure you can't. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Michael? Hello? Can you hear me, Michael?
He's pulling your leg.
Yeah, he's about to fake a dropout.
He's totally bailing.
You wanna know how I can tell? I can hear my own echo in this motherfucking microphone.
Can you hear me? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Right. Yes, we can hear you. Right, Michael. So, in a photovoltaic cell, is it made up of slices of silicon, lead, or gold?
None.
Wrong. They're made up of slices of silicon.
Okay.
So you don't know what
Why didn't you know this, Michael? This is your job.
Silicon cells. You're talking about atoms. That's all. What does that have to do with the sun absorbing, the panels absorbing the UV lights?
And how does it absorb the light? What's the process?
Absorption. It's from the equipment.
Oh, that's brilliant.
You're just going to say atoms and silicones are going to force a crystal. And then
no one's going to say that.
The light conversion is going to turn electricity.
Nope, no one's going to say that.
And that proves
we would actually say how they work. So when the photons, which are what the light is called, when the photons reach the solar panels, what they do is they actually knock the electrons off of the atoms onto another atom and create a current moving. It's quite a simple process which you could have explained to us.
Conductor. We understand how electric works, right?
You don't, obviously.
You don't. You had to have Craig explain it to you.
How do you calculate a current?
Oh my God. So what this is turned into, right? Let's see this real quick. Right? Is we're gonna ask a lot of questions, right?
Yep. To prove that you're lying.
No, you want me to use math.
You're not going to answer it.
If I know currents and resistance and power, and if I know all the formulas, which we do, right? We've been through them. It's just a matter of memorizing them.
So if you know it, how do you calculate a current?
Well, resistance, voltage, and power.
I mean, those are parts of it. Do you want to tell me a specific order, or
I mean voltage?
Are you just saying
divided
things?
By, I believe, the resistance, something like that. It's been a while. So the voltage divided by the resistance.
Voltage divided by resistance is correct. That is how you
I know most
current.
of the math. I'm just saying all I was getting at is this. When I touched on every point you made about the spinning ball. So your theories were what you guys proved, that we live on a spinning ball.
What you did was you went
when you level up higher, you see curvature. That a force needs to be on an object coming down, even though it was forced up in the first place and was never there.
If it's forced up, it needs the force to come down again.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Because so if it weighs more than the air, right? It would fall back down.
Weight.
So
how do you calculate weight, Michael?
I know exactly where you're getting at. You're going to say
that's what you won't answer.
You calculate weight. You need air to calculate it. You can't take away the element.
No, you don't.
So I need air to calculate weight.
Could you please tell me what the formula for weight is? That would be lovely.
Here we go. Now this is what I'm saying.
Weight is literally.
You keep asking me,
Michael. Weight is literally mass. Hold on, Michael. Hold on. Weight is literally defined as mass times the gravitational acceleration.
My point is the gravitational acceleration cannot be observed without air. You can. But
so you're saying, Michael, in a vacuum chamber, nothing weighs anything?
Oh, my brain.
No, what we're saying is when you do a vacuum chamber and you drop two objects, you just took the element air out of it.
Oh, but you just said that you need air to weigh something. So you're saying that in a vacuum chamber, everything weighs nothing?
You ready to understand? Because it has nothing to compare itself to. So the air, right, is what our atmosphere is, and this is what we live in. we compare everything to air. So when you eliminate the element air and create a vacuum chamber, obviously that's not a reality, but taking out air and dropping two things, what that does is it says, okay, we're not comparing these objects to air. What they did is they dropped them and said, since they drop almost at the same exact rate, and they don't have any weight because there's nothing to compare it to, because in a vacuum, there is no weight. But we don't live in a vacuum. We don't live. That doesn't prove. That doesn't prove. Real quick. That doesn't prove that there's
if there was a set of scales in a vacuum and something was sitting on those scales, wait, hold on. If there was a set of scales in like bathroom scales in a vacuum and something was sitting on those scales, would it register a weight? Yes or no?
If you're in a vacuum, right, and you said you had two scales, and
it's a yes or no. There's a bathroom scales on the bottom of the vacuum, and there is something sitting on those bathroom scales. Will those bathroom scales register the weight of that item? Yes or no?
I would say no.
You'd be a fucking idiot then.
Wow. Absolutely, wow.
Yeah.
So you're saying in a vacuum chamber. So in a vacuum chamber,
the job of Poe is to say the dumbest shit imaginable.
No. For instance, you said that, right, in a vacuum chamber, the weight is detected from the, would you say you used to measure the weight?
A bathroom scale.
Just a normal scale, right?
Yep, normal scale. Nothing fancy.
Right. So the scale, if it does work in a chamber, like what you're saying it does, if it does work in a chamber, the scale is picking up the weight. It's a mechanism in the scale that determines the weight, not the air.
But there's no air in the chamber like you claimed.
No, but the point is if there's air.
The fuck did you just say?
No, I said no. What I'm saying is if there's in the middle. Okay, if you take a vacuum chamber and you take all the air out and you drop two things at the same time.
I don't care about that.
Well, that's what you guys are doing. That's the experiment.
That proves gravity. But you made a claim.
No, that proves
you need air to measure weight.
Doesn't prove gravity. That's a false. That proves that when you take away air, nothing weighs anything because there's nothing to compare it to.
But it does weigh something because the scales register the weight.
That's the point, but it can't weigh anything when
you were younger.
Next to nothing.
When you were younger as a child, was there a point where you led down in the road?
That was the whole point, because now you're just full circle. You said you need a scale to determine the weight.
Yes, that's what a scale does.
That's the whole point.
And you need a scale to determine register the weight.
You need it. You need.
So are you saying it will work? The scales don't work in air?
Shit, my phone's about to die on you guys. No, what I'm saying is when you take away air, the element, which is our surroundings.
Air's not an element.
You can't say that that proves that there's gravity.
Air's not an element. You just said air's an element. Are you trying to give me an aneurysm? Air's not an element.
No, what I'm saying is if you take it away, you're taking away the substance that the air is the substance that we're weighing everything to.
Michael, you're thinking that air is required to measure weight. What is your formula for weight? Where does air go in there? What's the letter and what's the calculation for that?
That's the whole point. It's the density, right? Density doesn't need air to be formulated.
But you just said that air does. Air is required to measure weight. So what's the formula?
What does air weigh?
Air has weight.
It has weight?
It absolutely has weight.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know that. Why?
Because
we can measure it
when it's full.
We can measure it. Wow. How?
Because pressure is a measure of weight.
Because of helium in gases, right, have rised above it, right? Is that how we know?
No, Michael.
How do we know that? Okay, so helium doesn't rise above air?
Helium rises because it's lighter than like oxygen and nitrogen.
That's exactly what we're saying. Even nitrogen.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that has nothing to do with it.
No, it has everything to do with it. How does it? How
has gravity in the formula for it? The reason there is a downward acceleration is why the helium balloon is going up, because it is pulling the more dense, more massive objects down, i.e. air, around the lighter helium balloon, which creates a force in the opposite direction of gravity. We call this force the buoyant force. The calculation is rho for the medium of the density that is in, G for the gravitational acceleration, and V for the
We know
volume.
the math. We know you guys love
don't,
math.
because otherwise you
we know you don't understand.
We get the equation.
There you go.
But in reality, right, the reason there's no force pulling that helium up, It's because it weighs lighter than air, it rises above it. The reason why objects fall is because it weighs more, and that's why rocks aren't floating in the air, right? Because the reason why is because they're heavier than air. That's why everything stays on the ground, because the weight. So if I hold a ball in the air and I drop it, it's not dropping because of a force. The force.
You're right. It's not dropping. It's accelerating.
No, it's not. It accelerates after a distance.
No, it accelerates instantly.
Yes, because it went from not moving, and if I let go of it, you forget, my hand's holding that ball in the air. So if my hand's holding the ball,
applying a force to the ball and hold it in the air, right?
Force, yes, that's what I'm trying to say. It had to have a force to get there, but it doesn't need a force to go down, because once I let go, the weight is not going to flow in air because it's too heavy to stay in air. It doesn't weigh. That's why clouds stay afloat, because they're less dense. They're dense as air, and that's why we're able to see them. The only way objects can get in the air, no objects can get in the air besides clouds, unless we put it in there. And that's why we say, oh, well, how does it come back down? Well, because it was never there in the first place, because it's too
Birds
heavy.
must really confuse you, huh?
No, it doesn't. It's actually very simple. It's just, what it is they expanded your imaginations, made you believe in asteroids and meteorites that don't exist. And where does a creator come from in this? Like, for instance, you guys believe in a ball, right?
We don't need a creator.
The ball, no, for instance, that's what I'm saying. So in the ball Earth theory, you guys don't have a creator, right?
We don't need
so you're having to fall back to the Bible now on a creator, huh?
No, nothing to do with the Bible. It just has to do with, okay, for instance, like a book, right?
You believe in a magic sky daddy, we get it, that's cool and everything.
No, I'm not, no, I'm not trying to say that. No, I'm saying like a book. Like a book.
Why are you bringing up a creator then? Is the creator not powerful enough to create something as complicated as a globe?
No, because it's not complicated. It's just it's not about being.
It's actually much more complicated in the flat Earth model.
No, it's actually not. When you really,
it's very complicated.
God really did create this world. He made a lot of fucking mistakes. Just telling you that right now.
I mean, have you seen Red's? No, you haven't seen Red's face. But
I can tell
me,
by your response how I could tell where you're at. I've been there. I know. Trust me.
I mean, it seems like they have such a low opinion of their creator that he couldn't have created a globe Earth and a galaxy and millions of other planets and stars. But he was only powerful enough just to create one little flat plane with a couple million humans on it, or a couple billion humans on it, because he wasn't powerful enough to create what we know is reality using our own observations. Man,
but but you just said you observate a spinning ball Earth. There's you brought nothing that showed. I explained what you brought.
No, we brought you lots of stuff and you ignored it all.
You raised up. No, I didn't. I went over everything. You said you raised higher and you showed me the horizon.
This is why I say you're a because you just ignored everything and you answered every single question we gave you with a question.
No, definitely didn't.
I mean, and Michael, I purposely didn't even go into anything dealing with space and satellites, and because I knew that right away you would just claim it's fake.
Never said any of that. Never even brought it up. Didn't even bring up the fake. I didn't even bring it up because
I know you'd say it's fake.
Why would I bring it up? I know you guys know it's fake. I don't need to bring that up.
We know
if you don't know as a man, you're a man. You're a man.
Wait, one second, Michael. One second. Michael, 1 second. Reds, do you happen to know anyone that's personally proven that space is real?
Hi, you're talking to him.
Oh, that's right. It was you in Astronomy Live, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Hi, how's it going?
No wonder you're offended.
He literally proved that space is real, dude. Like,
now I know why he's offended. I mean, you guys, what the problem is you dedicate a lot to this, and what it is it was a lie. It was sold to all of us, and the reason why you guys can't duplicate your model. The reason why you can't duplicate and make a model. And we're not even getting into pictures because we already know there's not one.
Part of I confirmed
if it was real, if this was real, you'd be able to find a picture that you knew was real.
What part of I confirmed it myself did you not understand?
Yeah,
all of it.
So you didn't understand all of it. I'm more than happy.
No, I understand it. The problem is with what you're not showing any evidence of curvature or nothing. You didn't show nothing.
We showed you literal curvature.
You showed me a picture on the plane, and you said that's curvature at 35,000 feet. That's not curvature. I told you at the distance.
Moron.
Okay, now you're calling names. Okay, the space, right? All right, listen. I'm taking it easy on you guys. Listen, the space, right? There's a whole imaginary space.
You're not doing anything besides being a Poe. I'm going to pretend that you're being legit for like the next 5 minutes just so I can explain a very basic concept to you.
Oh my God.
Can planes travel in the atmosphere at 4.7 miles per second?
Little child.
Can a plane travel in the atmosphere at 4.7 miles per second without burning the fuck up? Yes or no?
This kid, man. He just rambles
Answer,
on
Michael.
question after question. You haven't answered one of my questions.
It's a basic question, Michael.
And you guys keep just trying to find more, and this is the problem with
you refuse to answer any questions, Michael.
You're a spinning ball. You're trying to find. Oh, you haven't found a map. Oh,
you haven't done
anything. You guys,
Michael.
The ones
I'll make you a deal. Let's go tip for tat. You answer my question, and I'll answer yours. So here's my very first one.
No, that's not.
Question is:
how is
can
that
a plane or any aircraft, for that matter, travel?
I want you to bring evidence. I want you to show me your. I want to give me your, instead of asking me tons of questions like I'm your father, and you're just asking me all these questions because I know you have a lot, but. The top three is all I asked you guys asked you're supposed to bring is what proof do you have, the top 3 proofs, scientifically, right? Because you guys throw that word science out there pretty vague. What proofs do you have of this spinning ball? And if you can show me a working model, not a map,
smart enough to understand
I don't want to
that
see. I
you
don't care about
cannot travel within the atmosphere at 4.7 miles per
You
second.
can't even drive a plane.
So, with that agreement,
drive a plane going east to west. If the Earth was spinning,
Michael.
Yeah, if the Earth was, that's what I'm saying. If the Earth was spinning east to west, like it was.
If you can't travel in the atmosphere at 4.7 miles per second, why did I measure a craft going?
That's why people don't waste their time with little kids. Let them believe what they want.
So are you admitting defeat then, Michael?
No, I'm just. I know how the tactics are. What it is.
Yeah, we ask you questions you can't answer and then laugh at how stupid you are. That's our tactics. You're right.
No. It's flooding with you have a group of agents, right? And you guys are attacking.
We have a group of agents. Questions. Did you say?
But you haven't answered one of mine. Not one.
Yes, we have.
I keep telling you that.
Hey, Reg,
I just said
that in front of you right now. Could you? What is that? It begins with
curvature.
Curvature. Oh my God! Look at that! Look at all that curvature.
There's no curvature because if the Earth's radius was at 3,958 miles, if that was the distance of the Earth, you would see the horizon would never be 360 panoramic at that height. You would see a curve.
It's called compressed perspective, Michael. I answered that one for you.
You guys no, you don't even know perspective. Let alone
perspective is alpha equals 2 times the arctane of G over 2R.
Now he's an alpha. Here we go.
Hang on. I want to answer something.
Now we're going
to
trigonometry again.
Hang on.
Here we go.
Hang on, Michael. I want to answer something. You started to ask a question about an airplane not being able to fly on the spinning globe. Can you expand on that? Why? And then I'll explain why you're wrong.
No, I wasn't. I was just saying that flying, if the Earth was spinning, it would change dramatically. Like, for instance, if you take a hot air balloon, they're saying if you take a hot air balloon up, it's in our atmosphere, so it's attached. So it would move with the Earth, right? That's what we're told. Right. We know. Right? Okay. I know. Everybody knows what we're told. That's what you guys got to understand. It's not that we're not comprehending it. It's just not real.
Tell us why it's wrong.
Okay, well, since it's staying in place is because, first of all, the Earth's not moving underneath it.
No, Michael.
It shouldn't move underneath it.
By our model, by what we said, tell me why it's wrong.
I am explaining it to you.
Subject. Why is it wrong?
I'm explaining it to you. So if that's the case, an airplane doesn't move with the Earth, right? Because it moves on its own. Because it's not attached to the atmosphere, right? Because it's moving fast, east to west and west to east, right?
All right. Okay. Right? I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let you finish, and then I'll answer. Go ahead.
All right. Sorry. Yeah. I was just saying that an airplane moving east to west would travel different if it was going from west to east. If that were the case of our Earth, if our atmosphere was attached to the ground and like a air balloon or whatever would stay attached to the Earth, and as it moved, it doesn't.
Okay, all right. So let me try to answer.
Don't change going east to west and west to east.
Hang on. Let me try to answer your question.
Hmm?
So, hang on, Michael. I let you answer. I let you ask the question. Let me answer it.
Okay.
So the atmosphere is rotating with the Earth. So that is basically, with exceptions for winds and air currents, things like that. But as a whole, the atmosphere is rotating with the Earth.
Okay.
The airplane is attached to the atmosphere in that it is being suspended by the atmosphere. The airplane is flying along.
That's a good
Hang
one.
on, Michael. I'm not done yet.
Oh, I know where you're going. Trust me, I've been here.
Let me finish, Michael. The airplane's flying in the atmosphere, pushing off against it. So if the atmosphere is rotating with the Earth, now that aircraft is moving relative to the air mass that it is flying in. It doesn't magically lose its momentum as soon as it takes off.
I know this already. I know.
And why are you making that false claim?
No, what I'm explaining is in reality, what
It is reality.
Reality is, this is what proves how the Earth isn't moving. And this is what we're trying to explain.
Womp womp.
How is
you
that
didn't
not?
explain that.
Just like I explained how objects don't need a force to come down because they were set in place. The same reason you can't comprehend it. That's not my fault.
So
how is it an explanation?
I thought
you don't
I'd
need a
ask...
force downward. You need a force up, inside, left, and right. You don't need one down because it's not moving.
Okay. Michael, you're
So
I want to finish
understand.
that conversation. I'm tired of you diverting. It's like I explained to you how it works.
Well, we're talking about gravity and the plane, and then
No,
and the
Michael.
Earth being attached to it. What proof you have?
Michael,
that
stop
that's moving?
diverting. Stop diverting, Michael.
Yeah, I'm sorry you don't understand.
You told us that our explanation of how it works would not work. Explain why.
Well, what I'm explaining is the Earth isn't moving. That's the
No,
whole
Michael,
point
that's not what you said. You said our explanation is incorrect for our model. Why?
Yeah, that's
Why?
exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not an
you would
answer,
have
Michael.
to take.
Tell us why.
Because if you were traveling from west to east, it would be different. Just like if you were. So, for instance, Coriolis works when you're talking about bullets and flush and toilet bowls, when we already know that's all a lie and we know how that works. But when
no one says that toilet bowls are proof of Coriolis.
So bullets.
Hang on, Mike. Can I go to finish, please?
I know it's whatever. Trust me, we've been here before. It's not like this is like you guys said.
Keep going, Michael. We're waiting.
Yeah. So for instance, the Coriolis effect, we already know that's not true. The water going in the bowl depends on which direction it's being filled in the shape of the bowl. We know that snipers don't take it.
Stupid. Ignore that.
I know. Well, I'll just ignore the things you want me to ignore. But that works because it only works for as long as the math works. It's great. I get it. Trust me. I know. So I'll disregard that because that's a lie. But the sniper bullets aren't taken countered for when they're shooting west to east or from north to south.
Yeah, they do.
No, it's only about distance and height.
So shooting west to
just
east,
like
what you find,
just like perspective.
When you're shooting west to east as a sniper and east to west, what you find is if you shoot from west to east with the rotation of the Earth, the bullet will deflect towards the sky. If you shoot against the rotation of the Earth, the bullet will actually deflect towards the ground.
Yeah, right.
So,
you shoot.
Hang on.
You know, snipers.
I'm going to get Michael back on track again because I told him I wasn't going to let him get away from this one.
Sorry, my bad.
You're saying our model is not correct, but you haven't explained why yet.
I am explaining it. I've said it from day one. But first of all, you can't even show me this model working in any shape or form.
Yes, we do. Every single time we go out there. Every time I take off, it's working. Every time an aircraft travels the distance in the southern hemisphere,
you know that works on a plane now. You
every single time.
Yeah, it also works on a circumnavigate on a plane. That's why a compass is the same shape as the Earth. That's why a clock is a 24-hour clock. I mean, the Earth is a timepiece. It's designed. That's the whole point.
Oh my God.
I mean,
the whole point is it was designed, and the reason why you guys are diverting from it is because you don't want to know.
I will give this to you that you were incredibly brave to come on here and make such an absolute fool of yourself.
So you're saying the Coriolis is real? With the sniper shootings, you're just throwing out things. You're just saying that the Earth's moving, but you don't. No measurement, nothing detects it. You say a pendulum. I told you how to be set in place. You say there's a force that has to push stuff down, but I said it was set in place. The gosh, my God!
I think you better hope that nobody you know ever sees this video because they're going to be like, "Oh my God, dude, what did you do to yourself?"
Well, no, it's just about. It's,
Okay.
No, I understand. I feel that way for you guys. That's how I understand.
Oh my goodness. So
You believe in asteroids.
Do us a
You
favor,
think
Michael.
asteroids are real? It's pretty.
Michael,
pretty comical.
Michael, when we're done,
Mm-hmm.
will you post a link to this debate on your personal Facebook page?
Yeah. Why would you? So you want me, right?
Yep. I'll put it on mine. You put it on yours.
Well, we know. Yeah. Here's
Please
the
do.
thing. Here's the thing. This is what we're going to explain to you guys. We were all born.
Just say, guys,
right,
right, it's
in
5 more minutes,
We were
and
all
then we're
born
going to
in
move
this
into
time. We all know the
Super
same
Chats.
stuff.
Michael,
We're all
hold on.
taught the
Michael,
same
one
stuff.
I'm
sec.
going to hold that to you, Michael. I'm going to check.
Michael, 1 sec. We're going to have 5 more minutes, guys, and then we're going to move on to Super Chats. I'm going for close to 2 hours, 40 minutes now, okay?
I'm hungry.
Sorry, I'm just going to end it. Hey, guys, I'm just going to end it with this, right? We know. It's not that we don't know. We know what we were taught, right? We understand. We understand the whole system, how it was relating to our everyday life, but it's just proving that that's real. We understand with math we can do it. We understand that we can come up with theories and things, but we can't prove it in everyday life. And I asked for a working model, and I asked for 3 top proofs. I have not. The only thing I got is Borealis is real. We have measurements that test the Earth, and
yeah, pretty good evidence.
They all match reality.
Damn
but
good
the
evidence.
pendulum has to be set in place. So what instrument detects the movement of Earth?
A fiber optic gyroscope, a ring laser gyroscope, a
And we
swinging
explained
pendulum.
it that you're not detecting the Earth's movement.
You tried to explain it. You were wrong.
No,
Thanks, Bob.
no, that's the point.
Yes. You don't. Right. Could you explain the Sagnac effect to me, please?
Sorry, I didn't hear anything you just said.
Could you please explain the Sagnac effect to me?
See, here we go again.
I don't
Can
know.
you?
Greg, that's way too complicated for him.
Yes or no?
No, I can jump around and ask millions of questions. You guys haven't answered one. That's the whole point.
We've answered all of them.
Everything I want to know.
All right. So basically, I'd like to sum up this debate quickly. The debate basically went, Robert, here's a bunch of evidence. And then Michael went,
sorry.
Mwah,
I didn't want to cut you off. Sorry.
mwah. Yeah,
Sorry, guys. I didn't want to cut you off. I might lose you here in a second.
That's
why
okay.
I was
You
trying
can
to
go
give
now.
you
You're not required anymore.
Yeah, I know. You guys, you're going to go in there and you're going to try to bash, and you're going to realize, man,
we're going to laugh at how dumb you were.
And this proved to me that you guys had the same responses as everybody has for the last 10 years.
Michael, your ignorance of science is not an argument against it.
This is a great hour of entertainment.
You haven't proved nothing. You literally can go outside. You can't even prove the constellations, right? How they can stay exactly the same with us moving at these ridiculous speeds through outer space at 1,000 miles at the radius, 66,000 miles around the sun, 500,000 miles in our galaxy, and 1.3 trillion miles away. Let alone land a rover on Mars that's 1.something trillion miles away.
What's wrong with that, Michael?
They're not doing it. That's make believe. Do you understand that? You guys not grasp reality. They're not landing a fake little rover at 1.something trillion miles away, and they only drive it on a surface of fucking. Because we zoomed up on the light. I have video on it. Because our proof, right, that we have, we zoom up on these lights, these so-called planets, and it looks like light in water, and you can see the light actually, the ruffles in the water, right? And there's no planets.
We're not a focus the camera, Michael.
What we're saying, we're not out of focus.
The camera,
we're not seeing the same pictures that NASA's showing.
No, that's because NASA have their cameras focused and you don't.
NASA has their cameras focused since the 50s?
I've done it myself, Michael. Yeah. I've taken my little P900 out there. I've purposely unfocused the camera, created those little swirly, magical-looking stars, and then I focus it correctly, and you know what? It sharpens right up because I learned how to use my camera.
You learned how to use your camera.
Exactly. Something you should try sometime.
No, listen. What I'm trying to say is those planets that
you don't know how to use the camera
don't look nothing like that.
Yes, they do.
What we observed, you don't see. Those pictures are all.
Michael, it may cost you some money, but go by yourself. Red Plate knows better than me. Spend $2,000 on a really good telescope, and you can see. You may not see a Hubble Space Telescope quality one, but you're going to see a lot of the detail you're saying doesn't exist. But you got to spend some money to do it, or even better, just go to a local.
We have. That's the point.
And see it yourself. Don't believe it. Go see it yourself.
An observatory is exactly the same model as what we're saying we live in.
Do me a favor.
A planetarium.
Can you see this here right now?
Yeah, that lovely image of Saturn.
All right, Robert, I just want to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. Can you tell me what this is an image of?
It just went away. But hang on a second. Let me go to another screen here.
Yeah, the image that I'm sharing right now. What is that an image of?
I saw it for just a moment, and it looked like an image of Saturn, possibly from even like a P1000.
Yeah, so this is an image of Saturn from a telescope.
These guys think they live on a spinning ball.
Tell that this was a picture of Saturn. It's because we could see the rings that you could sell that equipment that was worth a damn.
There's no rings, buddy. Your imagination. There's no rings.
I have a picture.
If you look at it,
He's showing you the picture that he took right now.
I'm showing you a picture of it right now. This is a picture I took.
All right, I think
that's the problem, Michael. You're refusing to go out there and
do the
observations of your own.
No working model.
You can even see.
No, I'm just saying you have no working model. Can you show me a working model? Just one?
Yes,
Michael. All of us here have actually gone out there and done actual observations.
I believe math. I believe it.
And he's gone because he was getting annoying.
Okay, all right, goodbye.
Good.
Robert, you did an amazing job. I'm sorry that I failed to moderate it so hard when they're fucking so stupid. But I mean, we kind of expect that to be the case, right? I'm not a moderator. I'm a angry person that shouts at flat earthers. But you did an amazing job. I want to thank you for the evidence that you presented. And again, I want to say thank you for following my channel and being so entertaining on Facebook, combating the Flerfs. You're really, really good at it.
That was fun. I mean, we knew coming in that he was going to be a Poe because we've watched him for a week or two of garbage he's putting on Facebook, but that was still entertaining. I think hopefully everybody in the audience, I think we peaked at about 825 people got some entertainment out of it.
It was peaked at, I think, 836, which is amazing. Thank you so much, guys. That's one of the biggest streams in the past couple of months, so I really, really appreciate that. And yeah, Robert, you did a really good job. Red, how did you think that Robert did?
Yeah, it was good on Robert's end. Everything else was a colossal dumpster fire, but you know,
that's flat Earth.
I'm calling it. That dude is a total Poe. There is no way in hell. Or let me just put it to you this way: I refuse to believe that there is someone out there as dumb as that.
I mean, I want to believe that, Reds. I genuinely want to believe that because I don't want to think I'm the same species as someone that is as dumb as that. But there actually is people that dumb. I'm still not entirely convinced that Riley's a pro.
Hey, Craig, can you imagine that guy coming out to install a solar panel system on your house?
Oh, God, I tell him to get the fuck out. Yeah, so that was fun. Robert, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. It's been absolutely incredible. Like I said, it peaked out about like 830 odd. That's absolutely amazing. And there's
don't forget to call out your super chats there, Craig.
There's a butt ton of super chats, and I'm going to read them out now. But before I do, I just want to say that the support is incredible, and it means the world to me. And I know not everybody is able to support financially, but you guys just being here is amazing support. And if you want to help the channel, but you're not able to support financially, the best way to do it is to share what we do on Facebook. Me and Reds are going to be putting out regular videos on the channel. There's going to be regular debates. And if you want to help see the channel grow, sharing it on Facebook and Twitter is the best way that you can really help the channel grow. So thank you for all the support. Going to start with Andrew, who for 20 Australian dollars says, "It's my birthday. Can you please shout me out? FTFE forever." Well, Andrew, happy birthday. That's another year that you've gone around the sun. Red, you going to sing happy birthday?
No, that would be a
My
bad
birthday's on Saturday.
Well, happy birthday for Saturday. It's a good thing that Reds didn't sing to you because that's almost as bad as his face. Almost as bad.
True story. Ask Craig. I sang happy birthday for him.
Yeah, he sang and showed me his face once. I have to wear permanent ear implants, and I didn't have glasses before. So.
Hey, by the way, did you get your shipment of Clorox eye drops? I can get those to you.
Yeah, I think I need acid eye drops after seeing your face.
Understood. I'll get those on order. Let me just have my secretary get on that real quick.
New eyes. Tristan Stevens for £2 says, "Had a good night, guys. Have a good night, guys. Destroyed a Flerf." I think the Flerf was completely destroyed. Poe or no, he got fucking destroyed. Aslam, who had a debate on the channel and did amazing for $5 says, "IQ test. Both participants show a functional map of their world at the start. Easy globe win. Debate was fun while it lasted. As gamers would say, GG, too easy." It is too easy, but it's infinitely funny, and I'm never going to stop doing it. More super chats coming in. Thank you. We've got Bella Charge, my favourite New Zealander, for $5 New Zealand says, "What's up, pips? Hope I don't miss a dumpster fire. Damn, no reception. Where in working today. Damn YouTube, stopping me sending my standard greeting." Well, Bella Charge, thank you very much for being here, dude. I really do appreciate it. Massive supporter of the channel. And then for another $2 New Zealand, he says, "What's up, fuckers?" And then for another 5, he says, "But yeah, it's let me send it by itself. Good work, YouTube. Hashtag fuck YouTube." No, don't fuck YouTube. They pay my wages. I, for €5, says, "Show or no show, thanks for doing this." He did turn up. He was slightly late because he was at a football match and he was driving, which is a dumb thing to do. Is there, in America, are they like allowing people to go to like sporting events at the moment? I'm confused.
No.
How was he at a football match then?
Right, really breaking up.
Sorry, I'm breaking up, did you say? Are you there?
Either that or you are, or I am, one of the two.
Oh. Yeah, now I can hear you. Try that again.
So in America, are you allowed to go to sporting events at the moment?
No.
No.
So
they're talking about allowing a limited amount of people into the Super Bowl, but
how was he at a football match?
They have a whole bunch of like cardboard cutouts there, looking like people.
I mean, he's got the IQ of a cardboard cutout, that's for sure. Anyway, he did turn up eventually. Fohammer 335 for $5 says, "If the Earth is flat, please yeet me off the edge." Yeah, I don't want to be on this planet if it's flat. Skeeter, I can't say your name, for $5 I don't know what that is, but thank you. "Please can you ask him how I can see the sun rise in the southeast and set in the southwest here in Brazil? It's impossible in all flat Earth models. There is no flat Earth model. Remember that." Now you're here, and I learned how to pronounce your name earlier, and I've forgotten how to do it. Give me 1 sec. I want to get it wrong. I feel bad because every time this guy super chats me, I get his name completely wrong, and I learned how to pronounce it, but I've completely forgotten. After talking to a Flerf, it hurts my brain. Right. So it is pronounced. Yeah. Zajac. Is that right? Did I get that right? Probably not. I'm useless. Marek Zajac for 10 PlayStation Network dollars says, "What is the speed of a swallow? PS, where is Reds? Do you mean an African or an European swallow?" General E. Shady for $5 Australian says, "Owns a solar company, is a Flerf. What the fuck?" No, he was lying about it all. Fohammer for $5 says, "Reds, it was you, wasn't it? You flipped the Lamborghini on its roof and you lit it on fire, didn't you?"
No comment.
Oh god, I feel so bad for getting his name wrong. Zions. Marek Zions. That's apparently how I do it. And I'm sorry for getting it so wrong. General E. Shady for $2 Australian says, "Explain retrograde planet motion and geocentricity." You can. Robert Williams for $4.99 says, "Does this guy think the Sumerians had it right when they thought the Earth was flat? They literally thought the sun went into a tunnel at night." That makes more sense than most flat Earth things, I guess. Although, Reds, didn't you once debate a guy that thought we lived on a Pac-Man Earth?
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Like, he literally thought that, you know, the map was like square, and when you go off one side, you just come back on the other, didn't he?
Yeah, myself and Sean Huffer debated two of them actually. It was
Awake
what was his
Souls?
name? Awake Souls and Limitless.
Yeah.
Yeah, but both of them thought that the sun went to one side of the map and then magically popped out on the other side of the map. And
didn't they say that it happens with planes
the reason
as well?
It worked was because Pac-Man fucking logic, I guess.
Oh, that's right. They say it's sort of simulation, don't they?
Yeah. They think that it's a simulation. So the sun gets to the end of the map, then it pops out on the other side because computer simulation, and it works for Pac-Man because Pac-Man is computer simulation or something like that. Basically, they got really high one night and decided to stick with the bullshit. So there you go.
And it was some good bullshit. Beanie Beeman for $2 says, same old denial of reality. Welcome to the Flat Earth. Brendan Cuskelly for $5 Australian says, ow, my head hurts. Welcome to the club. Aslam for $2 Australian says, prove the globe with my flight this morning. Done. Yeah, all pilots prove the globe all the time. Just Google the Haversheim formula. My Dennis 787B for 28 Hong Kong dollars with no message. Thank you. And then General E Shady for $5 Australian says, retrograde planet motion, heliocentric proven. Yep. Better Charge for $5 New Zealand dollars says, show me your snow globe Earth with a sun, moon, stars and a downward force of 9.8 meters per second squared. And it all has to act just like Earth does. Yeah, because they think that science means you have to recreate Earth on a smaller scale, which is dumb as fuck. Brendan Cuskelly for $5 Australian says, all I'm hearing is nuh-uh. That's, every time I speak to a Flerf, that's literally all they do. C4 for $5 says, FTFE and Reds, have you ever had a verbal discussion debate with Gary Webenenga? Well, if you haven't, you should. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Gary doesn't come on streams, does he, Reds?
No, I've challenged him to a debate multiple times. He just constantly runs away.
Yeah, this is why we call him Nick Dipshit. And why he is on permanent Vicky treatment in the chat. If any of the mods ever see Gary Webenenga in there, he gets timed out until he provides Red's Rhetoric an email address so that we can arrange a debate.
Exactly. Or at the very least, just say, hey, I'll be free. Let's go ahead and do this right now. We'll invite him on right now. Hell, I'll start a live stream right now on my channel. We can do it, or on this one right now. I got time. We're not refusing to talk to him. We've never refused to talk to him. He just constantly runs away like a little bitch.
Yep. And not only that, but I think he might be a Poe. I'm not sure.
I think he might be a Poe as well, but it's hard to tell. I would have to talk to him to see if he is exuding Poe-like behavior. But the fact is that I'm not saying we're never going to talk to him and that he deserves to always be ignored or whatever. I'm saying we are willing to talk to you, but it's going to be in a debate. We're tired of you spewing bullshit in the live chat and constantly running away when we're asking you to back up your bullshit. So let's have a debate where we can challenge you on your ideas. Again, if you get back to me and say, I'm ready to debate, we will debate and we will have a conversation. Stop acting like an asshole in the fucking live chat. Actually grow a pair and debate. Just debate. Do it.
General E Shady for $2 Australian says, Craig DM Discord pic, and this was what he sent me. One of the things that dumbass said was that the stars reverse because of perspective, or that they don't even reverse in the south. And that's the next super chat is from Sparky NJ for $2. It says, how does perspective reverse star rotation? Well, it doesn't. The stars reverse because we're on a fucking globe, you moron. Fohammer335 for $2 says, read US Army FM 325-26, then go test it. I did. Yep, pretty much all Army manuals for artillery show that the Coriolis is a thing and you have to correct for it. Virillion for $5 Australian says, evidence. I don't think you know what that means. Thank you. And Virillion, I haven't seen you for a while. Welcome back. The Final Nail for $5 says, Robert for the win. Great evidence presented to just an absolute denialist. The sad part is he believes he is prepared. Haha, cheers. Yeah, Robert, you did do amazing, if you're still there. I think Robert may have left as well. But
I'm here.
Oh, no,
I'm here.
No, yeah, you did amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I think you're welcome on the channel anytime to do a debate.
Thanks.
Aslam for $5 Australian says, Michael, I offer every flatty this. Come to Sydney. I will show you how to chart a flight and how to observe the South Celestial Pole. Flat Earth is dead. It was never alive. I just like poking the corpse with a stick. C4 for $2 says, Mike, do me a favour, stop being dumb as fuck. Then we'd have no entertainment. Grumpy Old Man Joe, $5 Canadian, says, a Flerf trying to explain scientific concepts to people is like a child trying to explain to their parents that all their presents came from Santa. Yeah, no kids should be watching this, but the Santa thing fucking annoys me. I spend all my time and money making, getting my kids present, and fucking some fake bearded guy gets the bloody credit. That's not fair. C4 for $10 says, on your map, Mike, how can 3 people in 3 different countries in the southern hemisphere looking in 3 directions see the same set of stars? Mic drop. And then it falls because of gravity. Better Charge for $2 New Zealand says, what magic has the stars go the other way in the southern hemisphere? That would be called Flerfspective. Stop sending me super chats, I'll never get finished. Xantaxia for $5 says, ask him how the sun can illuminate clouds from underneath just after sunset or just before dawn. Magic. He wouldn't know the answer and probably wouldn't. As you notice, Flerfs don't do answering questions. They move goalposts more than people that create football pitches. Michael Gallagher for $25. Thank you very much. But a handheld sight level. Buy a handheld sight level and use it to see the horizon below eye level. Anyone can do it. Yeah, easy. You don't even need to do that. You can just get a pipe with water in and then hold it up so the water's level. Go up like, 20 feet and look at the horizon along the lines of the pipe, and you'll notice that it falls below them. The water level proves the horizon drops. Calypsis for $5 says, every aircraft that has flown from Santiago to Sydney has an FDR on board, has a continuous recording of the whole flight. Moron. General E. Shady for $2 says, $500,000 I'll pay if he can't fly it. $5,000 if he can. I think that was about the non-stop flight from South America, from Africa to South America, which you can buy them.
That challenge where you said, no, that flight doesn't exist, or what did he say? It does exist, but you can't book it. They won't allow you to book it.
Yeah. You go through it, but they don't let you do it.
Well, put your money where your mouth is. If the booking goes through, you eat the cost. If it doesn't go through, I will give you the amount of money that it supposedly costs.
And Raven Zero for $2 says, that is the point. He's full of shit. Yes, he is. Brendan Cuskelly for $5 Australian says, I would take out a loan to make him look stupid. I think a lot of people would attempt to buy that just to make him look stupid. If anyone wants to make a video of them trying to make the purchase and then try and charge it back or something, feel free. I can't afford to pay you for it though, sorry. General E. Shady for $5 Australian says, 500,000. I'll put it in if he can't fly Chile to Sydney. 5,000, he owes me if he can. Man up, little boy. Take my money or fuck off. Do it or quit. Man up. Flat Earthers don't take challenges. As an example, Conspiracy Cats recently did a challenge to Flatzoid, FE, and Brian's Logic. The challenge was that they need to take a A-level physics test in a stream with cats. And if they pass, like a low pass, 60%, Cats will delete his channel. I threw in the ring and said, you know what, I'll delete my channel as well. But for me, they only have to do a GCSE level physics test and pass. Do you think either of them accepted the offer, Reds?
Well, either one of two things happened, because I see that your channel is still here. I imagine they, 1, didn't take the damn thing in the first place, or 2, they took it and failed miserably. I'm going to assume it's number 1.
Yeah, they won't even attempt to do it. Brian's Logic said asking him to do it is insulting his intelligence. It's a test a child would take. So my question to that is, well, why don't you take it then? You've got the chance to remove 2 of the largest flat Earth debunking channels on in the world. You know, me and Conspiracy Cats, we gone like that. We've agreed to that. All you have to do is pass the fucking exam live on a stream. If it's, who cares if it's insulting your intelligence? You get rid of my channel. But no, they won't do it because they're fucking cowards. Justin Nilf, $2 says baseless claims are not evidence. Correct. C4 for $5. Mike, how does the Snellian eclipse and all lunar eclipses work in your childish, fake, nonsensical, extremely dumb fantasy? I've never had a flat earther explain eclipses to me at all. Have you had any tri-reds?
No.
What about you, Robert? Any Flerfs on Facebook try to explain eclipses?
Oh gosh. Oh yeah, that's what they usually come up with, that the fake sun.
Yeah,
what do they call that thing?
I've heard of the dark sun before.
Yeah, the dark sun. It's basically it's a, you can't see it, and it kind of goes in front of it, and yeah, that's an awesome one.
Yeah. So no, you can't explain any eclipse on a flat Earth. Brendan Cuskelly for $5 Australian says, "Run, Flerf, run." Truth Nerds for €5. Words I just learned: electrodes, circumnavigate, astronomers, almanac, Pythagoras. I already knew that denial on empty claims are flat Earth evidence, though. There isn't any evidence. Don't be silly. C4 for $2 says, "What are the angles of a triangle with sides 2, 2, 1?" I was surprised he got 1, 1, 1 right. Definitely a Poe if he gets the fucking litmus test right. Justin Nell for $5 says, "We can't replicate the Earth on the Earth because of the Earth's gravitational field, you derp." Yeah, but they think science is recreating things on a smaller scale for some reason. I don't know. Andy M for $2 just shouts algorithm. Free Gemini for $5 says, "FTFE, can you get the image of a drop of water on a leaf from Professor Day's video and show him how a small-scale model of non-flat water?" I tried explaining to him that water's natural state is curved, but he went, "Nuh-uh." God's Auditor for $2 says, "Ask him who won the election." #litmus test. God, I don't know if any of you saw Planner Walk stream earlier that I was on, but there's some things going around on QAnon. Red, you might like this. Apparently, Biden wasn't inaugurated as president. What actually happened was they did surgery and they put Biden's face on Trump to give him a second term.
Oh.
Yeah.
And added on about 150 pounds?
Yeah. Yeah, so apparently then they're going to try Trump, but it's actually going to be Biden.
So it's Face Off, in Face Off.
Yeah, they literally took the plot of Face Off, and I think this is what QAnon are trying to hold on to.
I understand people are eager to trust a Nicolas Cage movie, but here's my advice.
It makes sense.
Don't.
Oh, fucking amazing. If you didn't see Planner Walk stream earlier, it was a lot of fun, guys. Do go and check it out. Dan Robinson for £5 says, "I've flown from London to Tokyo over 20 times, but have never gone over Germany or Poland. How on a flat Earth?" Nope. Dumb Flerf. Yes. General E. Shady for $2 Australian says, "Post in chat if he's daft as fuck with a dinger." There's not enough space for all the dingers that would be needed. Kick-Ass Dave for £5 says, "This guy is way too far down the flat Earth rabbit hole. There is no evidence you can provide him that he will consume honestly and objectively." That's flat Earth in a nutshell. No matter what evidence you provide, they will just and try to deflect from the actual where the source came from, or use their own misinterpretation of physics to say that they've debunked something that they never have. Brendan Cuskelly for $10 Australian says, "I'm a truck driver in Australia, and I am telling you, it doesn't matter which way you drive, it will take the same time. The globe works, your flat one doesn't." Yeah, and Brendan, good job being a truck driver in these times. It's fucking needed. Pullum47 for $5 Canadian says, "If Antarctica is a wall around the edge of the world, the coastline length would have to be at least 3 times longer than the equator itself. Any evidence?" That's why I was saying about the boat race every year. They don't notice that it's fucking 100,000 kilometers. It's not. God's Auditor for $2 says, "This guy sounds like Freedom Waterfall Jr." I don't know who that is. General E. Shady for $2 Australian says, $500,000, bring on 3 scientists who support Flatardia. But they just call themselves scientists, that's the thing. They'd say, "I'm a scientist," just like JM Truth. Alex Snow, $5, no message, thank you. Harry K, $20, says, "Michael, from the vantage point of the Mars rover, photos of its horizon look completely flat. From an Earth telescope, we can all clearly see that Mars is a sphere. You can't only rely on your senses. Earth is the same." You think he thinks that Mars is real? No. Aslam for $5 Australian says, "Can you ask him why all the navigation is based on a rotating globe? Ask him why we calculate accurate distances between any 2 points using Havershine." I'll see if I can message him on Facebook and poke him with a few questions. Maybe have a follow-up to this debate in a video of some kind. General E. Shady for $2 Australian says, some elements are diamagnetic, explain why they fall. He couldn't explain how to tie his own shoelaces, don't be silly. Daniel Anthony for $5 for the headache you must be getting. It's beyond a headache. God the Scummer, I'm nearly done with the super chats, guys, thank you. God the Scummer for £2 says the Poe is strong in this one. Aslam for $2 Australian says solar panels are made of sun absorbium. Yeah, makes sense to me. Robert Williams for $4.99. You can get a sunburn on a cloudy day because UV light penetrates clouds. Is he saying that his solar panels work on cloudy days? Guys, he lied. He doesn't have a solar panel company. Wayne Falconer for £2 says it's too bright. I can't hear anything. That's right, because JM Truth says that sound and light are the same thing. General E. Shady for $2 Australian says vote 1 for Michael for Dumbfuck of the Year 2021. He's a good shout at the moment. Let's see if he puts out any other dumbfuck during the year. Monochromatic light source for £4.99. Did Conspiracy Cats complete the Kessel Run in under 12 parsecs? He did it in 2 because he's Conspiracy Cats. Area 58 restorations for $10. Okay, enough bullshit. If you put an object in a vacuum chamber, does it float in the middle of the vacuum chamber? No. Then you're speaking absolute fucking nonsense. Yeah, the whole scales in a vacuum chamber thing nearly broke my brain. God the Scummer.
That was
yeah,
I was trying to not to break up laughing.
That was fucking painful, wasn't it? Like, oh my god. God the Scummer for £5 says, I wonder if his solar panels turn sunshine into moonshine. Oh, he's certainly got some kind of access to moonshine. The Sun Express for $5. Do you expect Elon Musk to buy a hollowed out volcano island next? This is an important discussion. No, he's going to Mars, and that's going to be his evil lair. Fohammer 335. Oh, it jumped. For $5. Fight. Long distance competitor here. We take Yachtbus and Coriolis into account. Anything over 1,000 meters. Check gun works for citation. Yeah, you have to if you're firing a gun over long distances. Decepticons forever, sorry. For $5 Canadian. 30-minute long exposure photography shows 2 different star maps when focused on the Southern Cross or Polaris. Why is that? Flerfs, obviously. Andrew for $20. It's your birthday. I've already done that one. Thank you. Carrie Oliver for $33.33 says, the dumpster fire didn't quite meet the train wreck, but this Poe was still entertaining. Yes, and nice to see you again, Carrie. Thank you. Gareth Bunting, £5, no message. Aslam for $2 Australian. Don't tease us about Red's face and not show us. Look, I'd show you Red's face, but not only would my channel be deleted, but YouTube would. In fact, I'm pretty sure Google would get deleted if we show Red's face. And what were you warned, Reds?
It would cause the total collapse of society.
Not just our society, any alien civilization within 4,000 light years.
4,000? Boy, aren't you conservative?
Okay, 400,000 at least. Andromeda Galaxy would know about it. Justin Nuav for $5 says, here's some support, Craig. Support these nuts on your chin, and also cheers to the world's greatest solar panel expert. Thank you. Andrew for $20 Australian says, haha, you guys rock, thank you. No, you guys watching are the ones that absolutely fucking rock. Average Joe for £5 says, these streams make me feel less dumb when I'm feeling down. Thank you, Craig. Thank you guys for watching. It honestly makes me want to do it all the more. Greg Ware for $2 Australian says, flat earthers debunk themselves. Ain't that the fucking truth? And the last one is Andrew, who became a member of the Scrappers. Thank you very much. And that is going to be everything for tonight. Reds, on a scale of 1 to 10, how dumb was that guy?
Well,
50.
I don't think I can give him a score because I don't give Pose the dumbass score. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go with, okay, no, you know what? Screw it. I'm not even going to assume. The dude was a Poe. There's no way someone can be that dumb. I'm sorry. The dude was a Poe. Just a straight up Poe. Absolute Poe. I'm going to say Poe. He was a Poe.
An Edgar Allan Poe.
I agree.
And Robert, how did you find your first debate live on YouTube?
It was fun. Once I got into a flow, it's just getting them to shut up long enough to actually go back and forth is always fun. But I knew that was going to happen.
I'm sorry that I'm a terrible moderator. I can't not when the stupid is that strong.
Yeah, I think we all had a good time, including the audience. So that's what makes it worthwhile.
Thank you very much for sparing the time to do this and poking him constantly on Facebook for me to make sure this was arranged. It it was definitely worth it. And like I said, you'll be welcome back anytime.
Yeah, now I got to go make it up with the wife for blowing her off the whole evening. But
Reds, thank you very much for being here as always. Your last video was really, really good, and I hear Leo is very mad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
Yeah. Also, Reds, I've been speaking with a guy on Facebook called, where is he? Adam Finster, and he says he is going to debunk your ISS thing. He's making a video about it.
Wait. Please.
Yeah.
Please do it. Do it.
He says that the ISS is a balloon. It was taken up there on balloons, except it's filmed underwater, which doesn't make sense if it's a balloon.
I love those hypersonic balloons.
Yeah. And he says that he can debunk your maths easily. He doesn't even need to try. He's making a video about it at the moment.
Perfect. By the way, does the dude actually want to come on and have a discussion?
Oh, that's what I'm pushing towards, yeah. He says he's waiting for his new computer to come in. Once that's on, he's going to come on and do a debate with you about your ISS stuff.
Oh no! He could just use a cell phone. Just come on. Just come on in on your smartphone.
I've tried to convince him to do the cell phone. He says he wants to be able to present evidence from his computer and stuff. He says he's going to go through your video frame by frame and show how much of a liar you are.
Oh yep, I can't fucking wait.
Yeah, that should be fun. But that is it for tonight, guys. Come back tomorrow night for Monday night debates with me and Jason, who you may have seen recently debate in MC Toon. He is a real flat earther. But absolutely as dumb as this one sounded. So that's going to be fun. And then Wednesday, you'll get a new episode of Flerfs Idiots with Brainy Beaver giving me a hand, taking on what Austin Whitsitt. We'll see you all soon. I love you all, guys. Remember that stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth. Fight the flat. 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 Fight the flat.
All right, go get some food. I'm angry.
Yep. Have a good night.
All right, good night, guys.